A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a homicide detail. A man and his wife are found dead in a rooming house. A dead parrot lies on the floor beside them. The killer set fire to the room to cover his tracks. Your job, get him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. Because of its quality, its extra mildness, its better flavor and aroma, Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, April 2nd. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the early morning watch on a homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from communications, and it was 5:25 a.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
Hello?
Is this Miss Jones?
Yes, who is it?
This is Joe Friday. I'm sorry to bother you, Miss Jones. Is Lee there?
Oh, yes, Joe. Just a minute, I'll wake him. Lee, honey. Lee, it's Joe Friday. He wants to talk to you.
Yeah, Joe, what is it?
I'm sorry to wake you. Can you come down right away?
What's the trouble?
Got a call from fire headquarters a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah?
They had a fire in a rooming house over on 7th Street. They found 2 dead bodies in one of the rooms.
Yeah? They suffocate?
Well, the battalion chief doesn't think so. They found both bodies on the bed. There was evidence of arson in the room.
What kind of proof they got?
The victims. That's why we called you.
Yeah, what you got?
Fire department thinks they were dead before the fire started. 5:30 a.m. Romero and I drove out to the rooming house on 7th Street. It was a 2-story building in the middle of the block between South Grand and Toledo Avenue. On one side of it was a small transient hotel, and the other a building which housed a bookbinding firm and studios for an acrobatic dancing school. When we got there, the salvage crew was still working. We were directed to the 2nd floor, where we met with a man in charge from the fire department, Battalion Chief Sullivan.
It's right down the hall here. Watch your step there.
Oh, yeah. You have the names of the victims, Chief?
We think it's Guthrie, Mr. and Mrs. Charles Guthrie. Old couple, lived here for some time, I understand. Here we are. We figure that's where it started, right under the bed over there.
Heat must have been terrific. Look at the walls, Joe.
Yeah. This is where most of the damage was done, Chief?
No, rooms on both sides got it, too. Not as bad as this, though. Guthrie's had 2 rooms. This and the one adjoining. Through the door there.
Mm-hmm. When the fire starts, got any idea?
About 4:45, I'd say. Landlady smelled the smoke about 10 to 5, put in the alarm. Fire was out 3 minutes after 5.
Any other casualties besides the Guthries, I mean?
No, just the 2.
Okay.
Over on the bed here.
Yeah.
Well, the worst I've seen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And Ben, you can see from the position of the 2 bodies, doesn't look to me like they suffocated. No evidence that they tried to get out of the room. Both relaxed. Looks like somebody did them in, then tried to cover with arson, huh?
Oh, Chief.
Yeah?
On the floor there.
Oh, yeah, a parrot. Somebody wrung its neck, looks like to me, and then threw it there on the floor.
There's the empty cage there in the corner and doors open.
Chief? Yeah, why?
Schubert's still talking to the landlady?
He hasn't come back. Clyde'd like you to meet Friday and Rebello.
No.
Sorry, Friday and Romero, homicide detail. This is Clyde Wine from the arson squad.
All right.
How are you?
You want to show him that setup, Clyde? How it was touched off?
I'm glad to. You can take a look under the bed there. Tells most of the story. You see directly underneath there?
Let me see.
What is that, Wine? Pretty charred.
Rags and papers. Had a good soaking in kerosene before they were touched off. Strung out all under the bed here.
Yeah. Couldn't miss, huh?
Thorough guy, whoever set it up. Most of the carpeting in the room was doused with kerosene, too.
This much you can count on. The man who touched it off knew something about timing devices. Want to show him that rig, Clyde?
Right here.
Yeah?
Ordinary electric heater. This automatic timer was connected to it, then plugged in. Heater was placed under the bed right next to the rags and papers. Timer was set probably for about 4:45 a.m. Timer let go on schedule. Heater warmed up. Rags and papers caught fire, then the mattress. You can see the rest for yourself.
That timer pretty intricate, Wine?
The man who put it together was no amateur, as the chief said. Must have known something about clockwork.
Clyde, see you a minute?
Yeah, Mac. Excuse me, I'll be back in a minute.
Do that. Thanks very much.
You find anything else that might tie in, Chief?
Not in this room, no.
Dead parrot there. Door of the cage open.
Probably a pet. Might have been out of the cage at the time of the fire. Is it possible that the parrot could have suffocated, Chief?
Not from what I can see, no. As I say, it looks to me like somebody wrung the bird's neck. A few green feathers on the floor there. That's the adjoining room in there.
Okay.
I figure the Guthries used it as a sitting room.
Yeah.
You can see the fire didn't wipe out everything in here.
Hey, Joe. Come here, man.
Right.
This carpet here with the door. Dark stains.
Let me see.
What do you think?
Could be blood.
Heavy stains, sure enough of them.
Yeah. Looks like more of them by that desk there, and some on the wall, too.
Desk drawer's open here.
Yeah, I see that.
That's about it. You know as much as we do so far.
Yeah.
We know how the fire was touched off. We're satisfied it didn't kill those 2 people in there.
The boys from arson squad talking to the other roomers in the building?
Right now, you can check with them.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Chief.
I certainly appreciate it.
Not at all. The usual breaks, isn't it?
How's that?
This is Fire Prevention Week.
5:53 a.m. Lieutenant Lee Jones and the crew from the crime lab arrived. Davis, the photographer, Dean Bergman from Leighton Prince. Pictures were taken of both rooms, which made up Mr. and Mrs. Guthrie's living quarters. Photographs of the bodies were taken. Bergman processed for fingerprints. While Lee Jones continued his investigation, Ben and I went down the hall to the landlady's apartment, where we met with Ray Schubert, one of the men from the arson squad.
These men are from Homicide Division. Sergeant Friday, Sergeant Romero, Mrs. Stedman, that right?
Yes, Clara Stedman. How do you do? I manage the house here. Would either of you care for a cup of tea?
No, thank you. I wouldn't care for it. When did you last see Mr. and Mrs. Guthrie, ma'am?
Well, now, let me see. Miss Guthrie, I saw her just before dinner last night, a little before 6. I went in to borrow an egg and a cup of flour. She was all right then.
Was there anyone with her?
No, she was alone.
What about Mr. Guthrie? When did you last see him?
About 7:30. I looked out my window and I saw him closing up the parking lot.
Did the Guthries have any visitors at all yesterday? Do you remember that?
Well, just one I know of. Jack Marshman. He's working for Mr. Guthrie about a year now.
When did Marshman visit the Guthries, do you know?
Around 4 yesterday afternoon. Yes, I was there, too. Mrs. Guthrie and Jack and I had a cup of tea together. Then Jack left to go back to work, and then I left.
You didn't notice anyone else in or near the Guthries' rooms after that?
No. I had my dinner and listened to a radio play, and then I went off to bed.
Well, I know you're upset, Mrs. Stedman, but can you think of anybody who might have wanted to do away with the Guthries? Anybody who had a reason to do them harm?
Oh, as far as I know, Sergeant, they didn't have an enemy in the world. I guess I was wrong. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yes, ma'am. Now, we'll leave our card here with you.
All right.
If you want to contact us, don't hesitate to call anytime.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Stedman. Goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye.
What time again?
6:15.
It's pretty early. They ought to be able to post the bodies for us this morning.
Today, Friday?
Oh, yes, Chief.
Jones, your crime lab man's looking for you.
Thank you. Ben, you called the coroner, didn't you?
Yeah, he's on his way over.
Right.
Lee?
Hi. I'm looking for you. Got a few things.
Yeah, what's that?
This hammer. Found it over in the corner under some of the rubble.
Yeah.
These stains on the metal handle here, on the head.
Mm-hmm.
Gave it the benzodine test. It's blood.
You figure it's a murder weapon?
I'll know more when I get the coroner's report. Bergman lifted a lot of nice prints. Blood them all over everything.
Yeah.
On the handle of this hammer, on that timing contraption over there, the one that touched off the fire, even left some in the next room on that metal box in the drawer of the desk.
How do they look?
Got good prints from each room. They match. Come in the next room. Something else.
All right.
Yeah?
Those stains on the carpet by the door. The stains on the carpet by the desk. Those on the wall. Blood stains, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here. Trail of stains. All leading through the door into the murder room.
You figure they were murdered in here, and then the killer took the bodies in the next room and put them on that bed. Huh?
Then he set fire to cover up. That's my guess.
How about the prints on the box in that desk, Lee?
Might have been money in the box.
Possible burglary?
That's an angle. I'll take scrapings from these stains, run on biological precipitant when I get back to the lab. I'll let you know how it comes out. Better start finishing up here.
Right, Lee. Thanks very much. Well, looks like we're in fair shape. A hammer, a couple of fingerprints.
Right. Romero?
Yeah, Schubert?
That fellow that worked for Mr. Guthrie in the parking lot, Jack Marshman, just got here.
Did you talk to him?
Wyatt and I have him in one of the empty rooms down the hall.
Thanks. Which way?
Down here. Seems pretty well broken up.
You talked to anyone besides you since you got here?
No, I told him the Guthries were dead, that's all. He's taking it pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
Right here.
As friends I had, Charlie and Marta. I knew I should have stayed with them. I knew I should have.
These men are from homicide, Mr. Marshman.
Huh?
Sergeant Friday and Sergeant Romero.
Hello, Mr. Marshman.
How are you?
I don't know what I tell you. I can't understand what Charlie bought. Well, what can I do to help?
We'd like to have you answer a few questions, if you don't mind, sir.
Certainly. Certainly anything to help out. Please, you got to find out whoever did it. You got to find out who killed them.
We're going to try, Mr. Marshman. Now, would you tell us the last time you saw the Guthries alive?
Sure. Maud. Mrs. Guthrie, about 4:15 yesterday afternoon. Me and Mrs. Stedman, she's a line lady, we had tea with her. And I went back to help Mr. Guthrie at the parking lot.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time you saw him?
Oh, it's about 6:30. That's when I get off duty at the lot. I said goodbye to Charlie. Never dawned on me it was the last time I'd see him alive. I just can't understand. It's such a vicious thing. Charlie and Marta. It's really terrible.
Yes, sir. You want to just sit down there, Mr. Marshman?
Oh, thank you.
Right.
Yeah?
Are you sure you're the only one who talked to Marshman since he died?
That's right. I met him at the door downstairs.
Well, the only thing you told him was that the Guthries were dead.
That's all he got from us.
Any chance he could have been in the room since the fire?
Not a chance.
Then how do you know somebody killed him?
listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
Buy a pack. You'll find Fatimas now cost the same. Light a Fatima.
Ah, that's different.
What a difference.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos, the finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean yellow package, carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Wednesday, April 2nd, 6:45 a.m. Lee Jones and his men completed their investigation and took their findings back to the crime lab for further examination. The deputy coroner arrived and removed the bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Guthrie to the county morgue. Together with Clyde Wyant and Ray Schubert of the arson squad, Ben and I continued questioning the Guthrie's friend and employee, Jack Marshman. His answers got more confused, and he kept contradicting himself. In some ways, he seemed childlike. In others, a good deal more complex. We strung along. In order to keep up the pretense that he was not a suspect, we asked him to come along with us while we checked his living quarters, a 2-room basement apartment near Olympic and South Flower. We explained it as a routine check. Marshman was calm and self-assured.
Well, here it is, officers. You see for yourself.
Yeah, Nice, comfortable place.
I like it. I've been here for about 3 years. Well, this room's where I do my living. Pull-down bed. It's a little gas plate over there. That's handy. Compact.
I see. What do you use this next room for here, Jack?
Oh, it's my shop. I like to put around. You care to see it?
Yeah, okay.
It's very nice. What's your hobby?
Watchmaking here. Used to be a watchmaker. I haven't worked at it lately, though. Job's pretty hard to find.
Yeah. These parts here on the bench. You making something, Jack?
Oh, just fooling around. Old alarm clock there. I'm fixing it up for a friend.
All these wires and things. They all go into the works, huh?
More or less, yeah. Just something I was fooling around with. It keeps me busy, you know. I like a hobby. They say it's good for you.
That's what they say, yeah.
Where does this door go, Marshman?
Oh, it's my closet. Just some clothes and stuff in there. Just junk.
Don't mind if I look there.
It's only a closet. They're just clothes and junk. There's nothing to see.
Say, Jack, do you usually keep this stuff around?
Huh? Oh.
It's kerosene, and it's pretty dangerous to store like this. There's no cap on it.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. I got to get a cap for that. I use it to wash up. My hands get dirty working around the bench.
This shirt, these trousers. Are yours, Jack?
I wish you wouldn't drag that stuff out. It gets my stuff all mixed up. Yeah, they're mine.
That's what I figured. The stains here is quite a few of them.
Some kind of paint I was using. I'm pretty sloppy with paint.
That's not paint, is it, Jack? It looks like blood to me.
Well, what difference does it make? They're working clothes.
I think they're reasonable in the day.
Oh, why don't you lay off? Who cares what kind of stain it is? You come in here snooping around, looking all around. I invited you in here. I didn't give you the place. This is my apartment. This is my shop. Now, you can get out. You hear me? Both of you can get out.
What's the matter, Jack?
I said you can get out.
All right. You want to tell us before we go?
I'll tell you what.
Why you killed the Guthries.
What do you mean?
Why did you kill Mr. and Miss Guthrie?
No reason. I just did it.
9 a.m. We put the stained clothing and the materials from the workbench in the car. Together with the suspect, we headed back for the office. On the way, Marshman was quiet. He asked for some breakfast. We stopped and bought him some ham and eggs. We tried to get him to talk. He refused. After breakfast, we dropped the stained clothing and the other things at the crime lab, and then we drove to the city hall. We parked the car in front of the Spring Street entrance and started up the stairs.
Hey, wait a minute.
What's wrong?
I've been thinking.
Yeah?
It's all a mistake.
What is?
I didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't kill him.
9:47 a.m. Ben and I took the suspect into the interrogation room. We checked him through R&I. He had a record of 2 petty thefts the year before. We went back to the interrogation room and got on the phone. We call latent fingerprints.
We made them, Joe. The prints on the hammer, the timing device, and the metal box in the desk. They all belong to Marshman.
10:03 a.m. I call the county morgue.
Bodies identified as Mr. and Mrs. Charles Guthrie. Cause of death, Mrs. Guthrie. Multiple depressed fractures of the skull. Subarachnoid hemorrhage. Blunt instrument. Cause of death, Mr. Guthrie, about the same. Compressions of the brain in the occipital area around the brainstem.
10:25 a.m. I put in a call to Lee Jones at the crime lab.
The materials from the workbench are the same that went into that automatic timer, Joe. Pieced together the cut ends of some of the wires. They match.
How about the stains on his clothes?
Human blood.
10:45 a.m. We laid it out for the suspect, step by step.
Let me rest a while. I'll feel better. Let me think.
We stayed with him. We waited. 11:20 a.m. The suspect opened his eyes.
Sergeant?
Yeah?
I want to talk about it.
11:25 a.m. Schubert and Wyatt from the arson squad joined us. We called in one of the stenographers to take Marshman's statement, Eleanor Eastlack. She automatically took down the time, the place, and those present.
Jack, this is Miss Eastlack. She's going to record your statement so there'll be no misunderstanding as to what you say at this time.
How do you do, ma'am?
Joe, you want to handle the question?
All right. Jack, we've got a few preliminaries here for you.
Okay.
John Everett Marshman, is that your true name?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
122.5 Morgan Place, Apartment B.
What's your age?
37.
Occupation?
Watchmaker, when I'm working.
Well, Jack, you've indicated to us in a previous conversation that you're willing to make a statement setting forth the true facts surrounding the deaths of Mr. and Miss Charles Guthrie.
That's right, I'll tell you.
Were you in their home Tuesday, April 1st? That's yesterday.
Yeah, that's right, I was.
What time did you get there?
First time? About 5 minutes to 4 in the afternoon. Mrs. Guthrie was there, and so was the landlady, Mrs. Stedman. We had some tea.
Was anybody else present while you were there?
No, it's just the three of us.
How long did you stay there?
I left about 4:15, I guess. Guess I was there about 20 minutes.
Where'd you go when you left?
I went back to the parking lot as usual. Charlie Guthrie left and went home to dinner. He got back about 6:15. I left at 6:30, quitting time.
Where'd you go after you left the parking lot?
Went around the block and then back to the Guthrie's place.
Why'd you go back there?
To get money. Charlie never paid me enough. Picked me up and expected me to work for nothing.
All right. Now, in your own words, will you tell us just what happened starting when you entered the Guthrie's apartment the second time?
Mrs. Guthrie opened the door and I went in. She gave me a cup of tea and I told her I wanted some money. She wouldn't give me any. I don't know why, but I was mad. I was sick and tired of both of them. They never gave me enough money.
Eleanor?
I'm getting it, Sergeant.
All right, go ahead, please.
Mrs. Guthrie went in the next room, and I went over to the desk and got the money from the box that they keep it in. I don't know how much. I grabbed all of it, and that parrot started squawking. Mrs. Guthrie came running in. She saw me with the money, and she says, "Jack." I picked up something and hit her. It was the hammer, and I kept hitting her.
Can you remember how many times you hit her, Marshman?
Oh, I don't know. She fell down. Parrot was still squawking, jumping around the cage. I went over and opened the door of the cage and pulled the parrot out. It stopped moving finally. I went in the bedroom and threw it on the floor, and then I dragged Mrs. Guthrie in the bedroom and put her on the bed, and I left.
Where'd you go?
No, I don't know. I walked around. Tried to think of something. It was cold. I got a bottle of wine, and I drank it, and I got to thinking about what Charlie'd do when he got home. I knew he'd be sure I did it. He always blamed me for everything. So I finally went back to the Guthrie's place and found the hammer that I used on her.
What'd you intend doing with the hammer?
Killed Charlie. If she had it coming, so did he. You can't blame me if they forced me into it. Anybody would have done the same.
What'd you do after you found the hammer again?
I picked it up and waited for Charlie to come home. Remember that. Wine made me feel pretty good. I stood there in the dark holding the hammer. Watched out the window for Charlie. It was cold out, I remember that. There was a radio on down the hall, and I held on to the hammer and waited for Charlie. A neon light across the street that came through the windows. Old lady was on the bed in there. I could see the parrot on the floor. It was quiet. I had a smoke. Traffic kept going by outside. I could hear that. I held on to the hammer. It's windy out. I kept thinking Mrs. Guthrie was looking at me from the bed, but she wasn't. Charlie came home at the usual time, a little after 7:30, and I stood by the door. He came in and closed closed the door after him. When he reached for the lights, I hit him. He fell down, and I hit him some more. You couldn't blame me. Anybody would have done the same. Anybody would have, the way he kicked me around.
How many times did you hit him, Marshman?
I don't know.
Was it twice? 3 times?
Hit him till he quit moving. That's all. I took him, dragged him into the bedroom, put him on the bed with his wife. I put him over. Wiped the stains off of me and left. It's the only thing I could do.
Where'd you go then?
My place. I knew that timer had to do the trick. I put it in a shopping bag with some stuff, and I went back to the Guthries. They were still there on the bed. Parrot was on the floor.
Would you repeat that last part, Mr. Marshman?
Oh, I said they were still on the bed, the Guthries, and the Parrot was on the floor next to the bed. Put the kerosene on the carpet and the rags and paper under the bed and rigged up the electric heater and the automatic timer and set it off.
A little slower?
Yeah, we'll just speak up, Jack, and then slow it down just a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
How did you rig the timer to set off the heater, Marshman? Can you tell us?
Oh, it'd take all morning to tell you. You got the timer. I'll take it apart and explain it to you if you want.
All right.
What was your purpose in setting fire to the room? You knew both Mr. and Mrs. Guthrie were dead, didn't you?
Well, sure. Sure they were. They forced me into it. They set the fire to make it look like an accident, like they'd burned to death.
Well, what'd you do after you set the timer?
Oh, I left, went down the street, bought a couple of bottles of wine, talked to the guy a minute. I walked around a while. It was too cold, so I went home.
When'd you get home?
2:30 maybe. I don't remember too well.
Did you go right to bed?
Yeah.
Did you go to sleep?
No. I laid there and read a movie magazine, drank the wine. Finally, I finished up the 2 bottles and dozed off.
What time did you get up?
A little before 6 this morning. Went down to the Guthries to nose around. That's when I met you guys. Well, you know all the rest because I've been with you ever since.
All right, Jack. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I told you everything.
All right. And this statement was given free and voluntarily. There's been no promise of immunity or reward extended to you?
Yeah, that's right.
Was any force, violence, or duress used to induce you to make this statement?
No.
Okay. These questions and answers have been recorded by the secretary here. After they've been transcribed, will you be willing to sign it as a true statement?
Well, sure, I'll sign it.
All right, Eleanor. Can you get that out as soon as possible?
All right, Sergeant.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that's it, huh? All of it?
That's it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm tired. It's been a long night, a long one.
Get used to it.
Huh?
They're going to get longer.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 29th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 86, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Recently, I've asked you to send me the names of cigarette dealers who are out of Fatimas. You see, the demand for Fatimas is so great that I want to make sure that all of you can buy them. So keep your letters coming. If you find a dealer fresh out of Fatimas, let me know and we'll have something done about it. Write your dealer's name and address on a card and mail it to me, Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. And now for you, Mr. Dealer. The coming holiday season will find new thousands insisting on Fatima quality. Step up your order for Fatimas tomorrow. Get in on the increasing demand for the quality long cigarette.
John Everett Marshman was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree, 2 counts, and arson, 1 count. He is now serving a life term in the state penitentiary without possibility of parole. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Coming up, We the People, then Screen Directors Playhouse on NBC.
True. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
Detective Sergeant. You're assigned to bunco detail. A gang of petty swindlers has set up operations in your city. They're experienced, cunning. They work fast. Your job, get them.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. Because of its quality, its extra mildness, its better flavor and aroma, Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you.
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all, long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, December 14th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of bunco detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain McCauley. My name's Friday. It was 10:35 a.m. when I got to room 38. Bunco detail.
Joe?
Yeah, Ben.
Joe, this is Miss Bergstrom. You talked to her on the phone last night?
Oh, yeah, sure.
This is my partner, Sergeant Friday.
How you do?
Glad to know you. Would you care to sit down?
Thank you. I was downtown, so I thought it'd be just as easy for me to come in and see you.
Did you bring those things with you, Miss Bergstrom?
Here they are. Wristwatch. Pen and pencil set.
Mm-hmm. Sure make them look nice, don't they?
On the outside, yeah.
Let me take the back off the watch for you. There. You can see for yourself, Sergeant.
Yeah, it's junk, not worth 15 cents.
Charged me $48 for that watch. Said it was wholesale. He wasn't making any profit on it. Told me he was doing it because he'd known Harry so well. Watch only ran for a day, then it stopped.
How about the pen and pencil set, miss?
This is bad. Pen's just a shell, won't even write. Same with a pencil. I paid him $30 for them.
Mm-hmm. This engraving on the pen was love from Harry.
That's Harry's boy I was engaged to. That's how the man got me interested to start with. Came to my house and gave them to me. The watch and the pen and pencil. Said Harry had ordered them as presents for me.
See?
I just had to cry when he brought them. Poor Harry.
When did this man come to your home, Miss Bergstrom?
Yesterday morning. Guess I should have been more careful, but I didn't think anybody would do a thing like that.
What kind of a story did he give you?
Well, he came to the door and told me his name was Spencer. He said Harry had ordered these things as presents for me, and Harry told him to deliver them to my house. Watch looked beautiful in the case. I didn't know anything was wrong.
I see. Would you go on, please?
He told me it was a special order. Said Harry had written him from overseas a week before. Harry was in the Marine Corps, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said he hoped the engraving was all right. The way Harry wrote he wanted it in his letter. I just couldn't take it. I cried.
This man, he pretended to be a close friend of Harry?
Yeah. That's why I showed him the letter. The one from the Marine Corps about Harry being killed overseas.
When did you receive that letter, Miss Bergstrom?
2 days before, on Saturday. Harry's name was on the casualty list on Monday.
Yes, we understand. What did the man do when you showed him the letter?
He sympathized with me. Or he pretended to. I didn't think there was any trick. I didn't think anybody was that low. Pen and pencil set looked a little cheap, but I wanted them no matter how cheap they were. Harry's last present to me, that's what I thought.
How did he broach the idea of money?
Well, when he was ready to leave, he told me Harry had ordered the things on credit. He said he didn't want to mention it, but he wondered how he could get payment for the watch and the pen and pencil.
He didn't show you a bill, did he? An invoice listing the price of the watch or the engraving that was done?
No. And I didn't want him bothering Harry's mother or father at a time like this. I borrowed some money from my dad and paid him.
Let's see, it's $48 for the watch, $30 for the pen and pencil set.
Yeah. He gave me a phone number to call if the watch needed adjustment. And when I found the watch was a fake, I called the number. It was a Chinese laundry. They didn't know anything about it.
You haven't seen or heard from this man since he left your house yesterday morning?
No.
Could you describe this man for us, Miss Bergstrom? What he looked like? Clothes he was wearing?
Well, it's right here on this slip of paper, Sergeant. I wrote it all out for you.
Thank you.
Well, you're not alone, if that's any consolation. There's an army widow out in Hollywood who was cheated on the same kind of deal last Friday.
It's so cruel using a dead person's name to cheat you.
Yes, ma'am.
How can anybody get lower than that?
They keep trying. Ben and I took Miss Bergstrom's crime report. The phony watch and pen and pencil set were booked as evidence. In the past 2 weeks, we'd received a half a dozen identical complaints from relatives or friends of lately deceased persons. The swindler, or con man, as he likes to be called in his trade, gets the names of lately deceased persons from the obituary column or the military casualty list in the newspapers. Then he fixes up some cheap article of merchandise with appropriate engraving and calls on the friends and relatives of the deceased. He pretends to know nothing about the death of the person whom he claims placed the order for the merchandise. In almost every case, the friend or relative agrees to pay for the articles at some exorbitant price. For the con man, it's a lucrative racket. For the public, a vicious one. Wednesday, December 15th, Ben and I looked up an informant, a former con man.
What do you think of it, fellas? Been in business for 2 months, doing fine. What do you think of it?
Looks great, Judge. Nice setup.
Finest baby laundry in South Los Angeles. That's why I advertise. Hey, you don't think that's too broad, do you?
No, I don't think so, Judd. You got some nice equipment here. Baby laundry. How'd you ever get started?
Father-in-law set me up with a loan. Says he got tired of me trying to sell him bum watches.
Well, that's a good break for you, Judd. Say, you got a couple of minutes? We'd like to talk to you.
Sure thing. Come on back here.
Okay.
Fine, thanks.
Yeah, it's squared away, living a solid life. Not bad at all, you know. It surprised me.
You ever see any of the old gang, Judd?
Not much, no. Some of the old grifters look me up now and then, try to touch me. I'll go. Hey, here you are. Oh, one up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, fellas, what can I do for you?
Well, we'd like to know how close you got your ear to the ground, Judd. There's a gang of bunks in town. They're working hard.
What pitch they using?
They're working the obits, the casualty lists. Thought maybe you might be able to help us.
I don't know. How long you been going?
Last couple of weeks. Had half a dozen reports on them.
That's one thing they never could tap me for. Obituary racket. Lousiest racket there is.
Can you do anything for us?
I heard one little rumble about it. 4 or 5 guys in the con mob. That right?
We know that, Judd. Where can we look for them?
Now, you know my position. When I quit the game, I quit. The only contacts I make are when some of the old boys come around for a touch.
Well, how much have you heard about the gang?
Well, what I said, there's 4 or 5 of them out of the Middle West, I think.
You got any idea at all where we could start looking?
Well, I can start checking for you. You nailed any of them yet?
We've got to find them before we can arrest them, Judd.
Yeah, well, as I say, when I quit the game, I quit. But maybe I can take a few soundings for you. Can't promise you anything. I'm strictly on the up and up.
Okay, Judd. You know where to get in touch with us. We'll appreciate anything you can do.
Yeah, well, you've helped me plenty of times, fellas. Wouldn't hurt a bit to tab that bunch. I'll walk out with you.
Yeah, see, you got all the machines going. Baby laundry business must be pretty good, huh?
It's a staple commodity, fellas. Kids always need a fresh change. Just a minute. Yeah, look at this. Just look at the size of it.
Yeah.
You ever see anything so small in your life? It's cute, huh?
Yeah, what is it?
New kind of soakers, I think. Let's see the label here. Yeah, Mother Greg Super Soakers. Kids thing, you sure give me a wallet, you know?
Hey, we might as well check the office while we're here, Ben. Can I use your phone, Judd?
Yeah, right over there on the wall. You got change?
Yeah, thank you. I have.
City Hall.
2572.
2572?
Bunko fugitive, Brian.
Joe Friday, Tom. Anything doing?
Yeah, Joe. Think we might have a lead on those bunks working the obituary racket.
What do you got?
They reached a woman in Highland Park.
Where are you?
Baby laundry.
Oh. Well, it's a Mrs. Westerly. Her daughter was killed in an auto accident. Last night they came around and sold the woman a watch her daughter was supposed to have ordered. Also a necklace and pen and pencil set. $250. Usual junk.
Did you talk to this Mrs. Westerly?
Yeah, we took the report. The man's description, his M.O., the rest all match up.
What's the lead?
She watched the man when he left her house.
Yeah?
He got in a taxi cab.
10:30 a.m. While Sergeants Bryant and Ullery got out a broadcast on the suspect, Ben and I drove to the offices of the cab company where we contacted the special agent. He helped us check the way bills for the preceding night. On the way bill for cab 213, we found the trip listed. Starting point, the intersection nearest the Westerly home. Destination, a hotel on South Flower Street. We went to the hotel and interviewed the desk clerk. From the description we gave him, he identified the man as Fred G. Norris from Minneapolis. At least that's the way he'd signed the hotel register. The clerk told us Norris wasn't in. We had him show us Norris's room. In his suitcases, we found quantities of dime store costume jewelry, monogrammed, and 24 cheap wristwatches and wallets and handbags done in poor quality imitation leather. Also a portable engraving set. The clerk told us that Norris was expected back shortly. We told him to say nothing to the suspect when he arrived. We called the office and arranged for a stakeout at the hotel, and we drove back to the office. 1 p.m. They told us Norris had been recognized from his description and picked up by Unit 17R on the way back to his hotel shortly before noon. Ben and I joined Sergeants Ullery and Bryant in the interrogation room where they were questioning the suspect. He looked about 40 years old, white, male American, about 6 feet tall, 170 pounds. He would admit nothing. Bryant kept questioning him.
You're wasting our time on your own, Norris. Face it. You were playing a rough game and you lost. Now, how about it?
You're going to feel pretty silly when you find out you got the wrong guy.
Who do you work for, Fred?
You can do what you want about investigating me. You haven't a thing to hold me on.
There's no use wasting any more time. You got that list of victims?
Yeah. These are the ones that tabbed Norris.
Thank you.
Couple more here, Joe.
Thanks, Ben. Hello, Miss Bergstrom there, please? Oh, this is Sergeant Friday, Miss Bergstrom. Bunko detail? Yeah, we picked up a suspect. We'd like to see if you can identify him. Would it be all right if we sent a card for you right now? All right, fine. Thank you very much. Bye.
Look, I can't sit here all day. I have business to attend to.
Quiet, Norris. He's on the phone.
Hello? Miss Cronin there, please. This is Sergeant Friday calling, Miss Cronin. Bunko detail? Yes, ma'am, that's right. I'm sorry to disturb you, but we have a suspect in custody down here. Yes, ma'am?
Hey, Sergeant.
Could you come down to City Hall right away?
Sergeant.
Would you hold on just a minute, please? Thank you. Yeah, Norris?
You got me.
2:58 p.m. We informed the victims that the special show-up had been canceled. Then we called in a stenographer and had her take Fred Norris's statement. In addition to listing the crimes he committed, he also told us that there were 6 men in the Bunko gang besides himself. He gave us the names and descriptions of each one of them. He stated that they'd been operating in Los Angeles for the past 4 months. Norris said that none of them had ever met the leader of their Bunko gang. The only contact they had with the leader was through one of the older gang members, a man by the name of Wesley Fisher. Before Norris was taken to Central Jail for booking, he gave us the address of the house where he had been living with the other gang members. Norris's information on the suspects was checked through R&I. We got one mate, Wesley Fisher. He had one prior arrest 2 years before on a grand theft charge, but he'd been released for lack of evidence. 3:15 p.m., together with Sergeants Ullery and Bryant and 2 men from Metro Squad, we drove out to the address given us by Fred Norris. Turned out to be a neat-looking bungalow in the West Hollywood area. Let's go.
We can take the front door, Joe.
Yeah. Say, Tom.
Yeah?
You want to have Johnson and Brewer cover the back of the place, please?
Okay, Joe. Maury and I'll cover the side.
Thanks. Let's go, man.
Did you want to see the people who live here?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to check for the termites now? I'm Mrs. Callahan, the owner.
No, ma'am. We want to see the tenants.
Oh, I'm afraid you're a little late.
Is that so?
They just moved out, bag and baggage.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
Buy a pack. You'll find Fatimas now cost the same. Light a Fatima.
Ah, that's different.
What a difference.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes, rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean yellow package, carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Wednesday, December 15th, 4 p.m. We made a thorough check of the house, which the 6 suspects had just vacated. We found nothing that would help us. We talked to the owner of the house where the suspects had been living. She told us that she'd rented the place, furnished to them, about 3 months before. She identified Wesley Fisher's mugshot, but she told us that he'd used the name of Charles Wilder. She also recognized each of the other gang members from the descriptions that Fred Norris had given us. She told us that while they were living there, the men seemed to keep odd hours and that they had a car. She told us that she'd taken the license number of the car the day the men moved in. The number was checked with DMV. It was registered in the name of Wesley Fisher, 1008 California Street. It's a transient hotel. The manager told us Fisher had moved about 9 months ago. There was no forwarding address. We got out an all-points bulletin on Wesley Fisher requesting that all occupants in his car be held for investigation of grand theft. Thursday, December 16th, 8 a.m. Oliver Ray Bryant, Ben, and I met with Captain McCauley.
Where are they getting all this junk they're palming off? Where's their source of supply?
The guy we picked up, Norris, told us they brought a good supply of it out with him from the Middle West.
That hotel room Norris had downtown, they were using that for a warehouse. They didn't want to keep the stuff at the house they were living in.
How are they hitting? Any possibility of stakeouts?
No, not unless we cover every name in the columns.
You might have to try it. Something's got to be done. Look at these. 2 more this morning, straight out of the obituary column.
Took one family for $90. Another one for $60.
How about that last run through the stats office? Help you any?
They pulled some more mugs for us. I'm going to show them to the victims this morning.
How about this Norris? You think he's come up with everything?
We were up talking to him again at county jail yesterday. Didn't have anything new, Skipper.
We dropped in at the sheriff's bunco detail. They've got one new case, same M.O. Description comes close to one of the guys. The victim was the father of a Navy flyer lost overseas. They sold him a gold watch chain that his son was supposed to have bought him for a present. Solid brass.
The sheriff's men got anything new?
Well, we've been working pretty close with him. Nothing new.
Excuse me. Uncle Fugitive, Captain McCauley.
I'm talking to Joe Friday.
Oh, yeah, hold on. You, Friday.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Joe, this is Judd. Can you meet me out at my place?
What do you got?
The name Wesley Fisher mean anything to you?
8:30 a.m. Ben and I drove out and met with Judd at his home. He was still in his bathrobe when he met us at the door. He told us he had an important appointment downtown at 9 o'clock and he was in a hurry. We talked to him while he shaved.
Hope you fellas don't mind. Can't miss this date, lining up some new business, you know. Well, it's all right, Judd. Go right ahead. Yeah, I gotta move fast on these things before they cool, you know.
Well, works the same with us, Judd. What's the story?
Well, I don't know what's worse. Brother Max called me this morning. You remember my brother Max, don't you? No, I don't think so. He works at the Pink Parrot bar in South Maine. When you were in to see me the other day about those grifters you want, I gave my brother a tumble on it. Told him to keep an eye open. Now, hand me that towel, will you?
Oh, yeah. Here you go.
Thanks. They're all steamed up.
What'd Max come up with?
Well, he's night bartender at the Parrot, you know. Now, last night he spotted a couple of guys at the bar. Had some day old newspapers.
Uh-huh.
They were sitting there with the papers turned to the obituary column, checking off names, writing down addresses. Max is pretty sharp that way. Spotted them right off. Lousy razor.
Does Max know these two men he spotted?
No, not by name, but he knew the one of them lived in the hotel next door to the bar. When the hotel night clerk come in for a beer, Max asked him about it. He tabbed one of the guys as Wesley Fisher.
Did he have anything on the other man?
No, the clerk told Max he doesn't live at the hotel, but he spends a lot of time there with Fisher.
Well, had he seen Fisher and this other guy at the bar before?
Yeah, Max says he's been in before. Got lashed up a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Say, would it be okay to contact your brother at his home, Judd?
Sure.
We don't want to contact him at the bar.
Yeah, sure thing. Get your address as soon as I'm finished here. He just moved. I don't know. Hope I didn't get you guys out here for nothing.
We appreciate it, Judd. Looks good.
Seems to fit. That hotel down there, it's the hangout con man. Angles are all there.
Let's hope Fisher is. 8:53 a.m. We arrived at the hotel on South Main Street. We checked with the desk clerk, who told us that Wesley Fisher had room 37. As far as he knew, Fisher was in his room. We got a pass key from the clerk and went up to room 37, where we found Fisher and another man. He identified himself as Raymond Breen, one of the gang members identified by Fred Norris. We also found a small supply of cheap watches and pen and pencil sets in Fisher's car. It was parked near the hotel. It was impounded. We took both suspects back to the city hall. We questioned them separately in the interrogation room. Breen was first, but he refused to answer our questions. He was taken back to the squad room, and Wesley Fisher was brought in.
Sit down, Fisher.
Thank you.
Guess you know why you're here.
No, I haven't the least idea.
All right, then we'll show you. Do you know Fred Norris?
Fred Norris. Name sounds a little familiar. Can't quite place it.
He places you pretty well. He says he worked with you and Breen up till a couple of days ago.
That's so?
Yeah. Says he lived with you in that bungalow out in West Hollywood.
That's so. Norris, West Hollywood. When was that?
2 days ago, Fisher. Your landlady identified your mug. She even had the license number of your car.
What's it prove, gentlemen?
Proves you're lying. You and Breen worked together. You did work with Norris. You're part of one of the filthiest rackets going.
Gentlemen, you're making a bad mistake.
No, there's no mistake, Fisher. Your picture's been identified by at least a half a dozen victims. Now, you can go on playing coy all you want, but we can prove that the pen and pencil sets that you sold some of the victims are identical to the ones we found in your car.
I haven't any idea what you're talking about. Believe me, that's the truth.
You wouldn't know the truth if it followed you, mister. Now, look, maybe you're great at conning old men and young girls, but don't try to pass any of it here.
Now, just a moment.
No, you listen, you two-bit thief. I couldn't begin to tell you off for the rotten things you've been pulling off in this town for the past 3 months. That young girl who lost her boyfriend overseas, that widow out in Hollywood, the old man in Highland Park whose wife passed away. You must have felt pretty sharp cheating them out of a few bucks. Maybe you don't remember, mister, but we do and they do. And you're going to pay for them.
You all through?
I'm through, Fisher. You're just starting.
I have nothing further to say, gentlemen. You can talk to my lawyer.
We'll give him your new address.
Yes.
County jail. Suspects Wesley Fisher and Raymond Breen were booked and transported to the county jail. Both of them were positively identified by the victims. Warrants were obtained for the 3 suspects, Norris, Fisher, and Breen. They were arraigned and held to answer at a preliminary hearing on several counts of grand theft. During the next 2 weeks and through the Christmas holidays, identical complaints of bunco operations continued to come in. Friends and relatives of lately deceased persons were still being victimized. The gang's operations continued as usual. There was only one change. The crime report showed that a woman was now operating in the obituary racket along with the male suspects. Christmas came and went. On New Year's Eve, Ben and I were assigned to standby duty. A few minutes before 8 p.m., we got a call from the county jail that Wesley Fisher wanted to see us. Went to the 10th floor of the jail, the interview room.
I'm not going to take all the heat. They're in just as deep as I am. If they can't do right by me, I'll square it up myself. I'll tell you everything I know.
Go ahead, Fisher. What is it?
Her name's Betty McGraw. She's the one you've been looking for. The whole idea was hers. She planned it out. She got everybody together. It was her show.
Where can we find her?
213 Foster, apartment 8.
Wesley Fisher gave a complete statement of all his crimes and also implicated the other members. He told us Betty McGraw was his girlfriend. She'd come up with the idea for the obituary racket. She gathered the men together for the job, and it had been planned that she was to stay in the background. In case of trouble, she would furnish aid to the gang members in the form of bail bond money and lawyers. She received a percentage of the take from each of the gang members. We checked her through R&I. She had a criminal history dating back 11 years. We obtained her mugshot. 10:30 p.m. We went out to the address Fisher gave us. A maid answered the door. She told us that the McGraw woman was not there, that she'd gone to a New Year's Eve celebration at a downtown hotel. It was 11:15 when we got there. We identified ourselves to the special officer at the hotel and showed him the mugshot of Betty McGraw. He thought he'd seen her at the main bar. We started looking.
Sure do pack 'em in.
Yeah. Say, excuse me, please. Can I get through here? Thank you.
Sorry, excuse me. Hey, Joe, over this way. I think we can get through.
Okay, do you see her yet?
No, they're jammed in there. I can't see a thing. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Can you see down at the end of the bar there?
Where?
In the black dress?
Oh, yeah. That's her.
Would you let us through here, please? Excuse me. Sorry. Joe?
Right behind you.
Is your name Betty McGraw? Is your name Betty McGraw?
Sure, I'm Betty McGraw. I don't know you. Who are you anyway?
Police officer.
We'd like to see you outside.
Oh, please. I'm saying it is. This is where the party is, right here.
Let's go, lady, outside.
Is there a bar outside? I didn't know there was a bar outside.
Okay, Ben.
Come on, Lenny.
I don't know you at all. I'm not going. I'm not going with you. There it is. Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
No use trying to get through this. We'll have to wait.
Yeah. Well, Happy New Year, Joe.
Yeah, same to you.
Maybe next year we'll have it off.
I don't know why. I always cry when I hear that song. No reason, I just cry.
Yeah?
Every year, they play it and I cry. No reason at all.
You got one this year, lady. Come on.
The story you've just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On March 28th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 93, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. In the past few weeks, I've asked you to send me the names of cigarette dealers who are out of Fatimas. You see, the demand for Fatimas is so great that I want to make sure that all of you can buy them. So keep your letters coming. If you find a dealer fresh out of Fatimas, let me know and we'll have something done about it. Write your dealer's name and address on a card and mail it to me, Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. That's Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. Now for you, Mr. Dealer. The coming holiday season will find new thousands insisting on Fatima quality. So step up your order for Fatimas tomorrow. Get in on the increasing demand for the quality long cigarettes.
The remaining members of the Bunko gang were apprehended and brought to trial. All of them, including the gang leader, Elizabeth McGraw, were tried and convicted of grand theft. They are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Coming up, We the People, then Screen Directors Playhouse on NBC.
The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. In 4 months, 15 food markets in your city have been held up and robbed. The bandit is well-dressed, well-armed. Your job, stop him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. Because of its quality, its extra mildness, its better flavor and aroma, Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you.
That's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, February 12th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 9:48 p.m. when we got to room 25A, interrogation room.
Have a chair, Mr. Pollard.
Yeah, thanks. Now, what is it that you want to tell us, sir?
Well, you have a cigarette, please?
Yeah. Here you are.
Thanks. I'm a little nervous. It's never happened to me before.
What's that?
Well, after I thought it over, I knew it wouldn't be any use to keep it up. I knew you'd find me.
I don't think I quite follow you.
I want to confess. That's why I came here.
Yeah?
I knew I was doing wrong. I just couldn't help myself.
What have you done?
I'm not trying to defend myself. I needed money, that's all. Wasn't anything else I could do.
Well, we still don't know what you're talking about, Pollard.
Been after me 4 months. Thought maybe you'd recognize me from the description. Some of the people must have seen me. Those food market holdups?
You pulled those robberies by yourself?
Yeah, 15 of them. Needed the money.
Pollard, is that your true name?
That's right, yeah, Frank Pollard.
You ever been arrested before?
Drunk charge, that's all. I don't know why I went wrong. It just did.
You ever done any big time?
No.
Well, why do you want to confess?
I want to get it off my mind. I want to tell somebody. Everybody. Look, call in newspapers. I'll give them the whole story. I'll tell them everything.
How many of those markets did you hold up, Pollard?
15.
You said you needed the money, is that right? Why?
Personal reasons. Now, look, you got a light again. The smoke's out there.
Yeah. Here you are.
Yeah, thanks.
You used pretty much the same routine on all of the holdups, is that right?
Yeah, I only pull one job a week. Figured that was the safest way. Dressed pretty well, like a salesman. Always had a briefcase with me.
Is that where you carried the gun?
Yeah. Always worked, too. I'd show up at closing time, get the manager in the back room, then pull the heist.
What kind of a gun did you use?
Service pistol. I had it from when I was in the Army.
How do you usually work it?
Oh, when I got the manager alone in the back office, I'd just pull the gun and I'd say, give me the money, all of it. They knew I wasn't fooling. They'd give me the dough.
You don't seem to fit the hold-up man's description too closely. Did you wear a mask on those jobs, is that it?
Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
How about the man who worked with you? Where's he?
Wasn't anybody else, just me. Worked him alone. That's where you cops were wrong. You thought there were two of us, didn't you?
We thought so, yeah.
Pulled every job by myself. That's where I crossed you up. I knew what I was doing. I didn't need any help.
Well, how about that market out on West 7th that you held up last night? Did you pull that one alone, too?
Yeah, sure. I always work alone. Guess I had you guys going, huh?
Your story doesn't come very close. The man we're after doesn't use a service pistol. He never wears a mask, either.
What are you guys getting at? I told you I pull those robberies. I ought to know how it happened. I use a service pistol.
Did you use it in that robbery last night, the one out on West 7th?
Sure, I always use the same gun. Last night was no different.
You're wasting time, mister.
How do you mean? Look, I just want to confess.
No, sir, there wasn't any robbery last night. On further questioning, the suspect, Frank Pollard, broke down and admitted his confession was a lie. He explained that he wanted the publicity to impress a girlfriend. We had him fingerprinted and delivered him to the Georgia Street Hospital detail. He was filed on and then removed to the psychopathic ward at the county hospital for further examination and treatment. Our 4-month-old search for the market bandit went on. In the 2 weeks that followed, we tracked down more leads. They led nowhere. The real market bandit was still at large. On the night of February 25th, he hit again, this time at a supermarket out on Santa Monica Boulevard. We interviewed the manager, a Mr. Harry Talbot, in his small office at the rear of the store.
I guess I should have known better. I got the bulletin you sent out on the guy, his description, everything. I just wasn't thinking, I guess.
He came in the market just before closing time, is that right?
Yeah, a couple of minutes after 8. Looked well-dressed, had a briefcase under his arm. I fell for it like the rest of them. I thought he was a salesman.
Well, how about the man's description, sir?
About 5'11", 170 pounds, I guess. Gray suit. It's the same description you had printed up in the paper.
Mm-hmm. Was anyone else around when the man came in the door?
One of my clerks, Everett Smiley. He saw him leave and get in a car right after the robbery.
Was this clerk still around? We'd like to talk to him.
Oh, he went down the street a minute. He'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's him. Yeah?
Mr. Talbot? You remember me, Mrs. Bolton?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Like to ask you a favor, Mr. Talbot, as an old customer.
I'm tied up right now, ma'am. Could I see you a little later on?
I won't even come in, Mr. Talbot. You see, we're having our annual benefit whist party down at the community church. They were going to have it next Thursday, but I made them put it off another week so we could get some decent prizes.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Of course, a lot of our people are good customers of the store here, so I knew you'd be willing to give something to the prize list.
Oh, yes.
Shall I put you down for one of the door prizes? Maybe 2 or 3 market baskets full of canned corn, peas, things like that.
Yeah, okay, Mrs. Bolton. I'll have Everett fix them up tomorrow.
Of course. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Talbot. I'll have my boy Robert pick them up tomorrow. You'll have the baskets fixed up real nice, won't you?
Yes, ma'am. I'll take care of it.
Well, thank you again. Goodbye.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye. Mr. Talbot, I wonder if you could tell us what happened after you got back here in your office with the hold-up man.
Well, it happened pretty fast. He reached into the briefcase he was carrying like he was going to get his order book, and he came up with this gun. He told me to open that safe there. But I stalled. I said I didn't know how.
I see.
And that's when he started telling me what he'd do to my family, my wife, if I didn't open the safe. He knew all about us, my address, my wife's name, my kids. He said he'd get them if I didn't do what I was told.
Same M.O. Never failed him. What'd you do then, Talbot?
Well, money's not worth that much to me. I opened the safe and gave him everything. A little over $400. I still don't know how he got that information about my family.
Do you have any suspicions at all?
No, nobody I can think of.
How about the gun he had? Can you describe it?
Well, just like you have it listed in that bulletin on him. 38 revolver, blue steel, long barrel.
Mr. Talbot.
Come on in, Ev. Officers, this is my clerk, Everett Smiley. I'm sorry I forgot your name.
Friday and Romero, robbery detail. Hi.
No.
Hello. Hey, Mr. Talbot says that you saw the hold-up man leaving the market. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. He walked right out of the store and down the street just like nothing happened. I didn't know anything was wrong till later.
Did you notice if the man got in a car?
Yeah, I did. Car was parked about halfway down the block. Another guy was driving. Motor was running.
Did you catch the license number?
No, but it was a brand-new sedan. A Pontiac, I think. You shouldn't have much trouble finding it.
Without a license number?
Well, it's a brand-new car. I remember the color. I couldn't forget that.
Yeah.
Bright red, just like a fire engine.
90% of the time, color identification of a car means nothing. For one thing, a getaway car can be painted in a matter of a few hours, and for another, the color of a vehicle is not listed on the registration slip. It's impossible to check a car through DMV on color alone. But in this case, we figured that we had half an exception to the rule. The car used in the robbery was new. It was painted a very distinctive color. We began an immediate canvass of automobile dealers throughout the city. After a day and a half of calling and checking, we found 2 dealers who had sold 2 new cars within recent weeks with fire engine red paint jobs. We got the names and addresses of the purchasers and checked them out. One of them was a Miss Mona Taylor, an ad taker for one of the daily morning papers. I'm sorry to bother you at your work, Miss Taylor.
Oh, not at all. Most of it's over for today. What is it you want to know?
Well, we understand that you bought a new Pontiac sedan about 3 weeks ago. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. If this is about that parking ticket, why, I've already taken care of it.
No, ma'am, that's not it. We'd just like to know if you still own that car.
Well, I don't own it yet. I'm still paying on it.
Colors are bright red, is that right?
Yes, it is. Fire engine red. I like bright colors.
Well, does anyone else besides yourself drive the car, Miss Taylor?
Well, yes, once in a while. I lend it to my boyfriend, Al. Al Daly. I've known him for a long time. Oh, excuse me. Classified ads, Miss Taylor. Yes, sir. 2-room apartment? Unfurnished? All right.
You got a smoke,
Steam,
Joe?
heat,
Yeah, just a minute. I got one.
View, Beverly Hills.
That's it, Ken.
$80. What's that? Yes, sir. Tomorrow morning's edition. Yes, $2.12 for 2 days. Could I have your name, address, and telephone number? Thank you, sir.
About this friend of yours, Miss Taylor, this Al Daly. How long have you been lending him your car?
Since he got his new salesman's job. He has to make night calls on customers out in the valley, so I let him have the car, usually about once a week.
When's the last time that he borrowed the car, miss?
2 nights ago.
From Mona Taylor, we got the address of her boyfriend, Al Daly. We located him in a rooming house on South Boulevard Avenue. He admitted he borrowed the Taylor girl's car the night before, but he denied that he drove it anywhere in the vicinity of the robbery. How about your friend, Jimmy Bray?
I don't know. I loaned the car, that's all. He gave me $30.
Well, that's an awful lot of rental money. Why did he need a car so bad?
I don't know. Let's ask him.
Where's he stay?
Bartlett Hotel. 8th and Flower.
Mm-hmm.
You going over to see him now?
That's right. Why?
Well, I thought if you were going over there, you wouldn't mind taking this with you. He left it in the car when he brought it back. His briefcase.
Let's have a look.
What's the matter? What's all the fuss about a briefcase?
Joe? Mm-hmm.
What is it? Let's see.
All right, you got an answer for that, Daly?
Sure, a funny place to keep a gun.
We took Al Daly downtown where he was held for questioning. We had a stakeout placed on his rooming house. We had both Daly and Bray checked through R&I. No criminal record. The briefcase and the .38 revolver were booked as evidence with the property clerk. There was no record or prints on the gun. The Taylor girl's car was impounded to be checked for fingerprints. 7 p.m., we drove out to the Bartlett Hotel on 8th and Flower. The room clerk confirmed the fact that Jimmy Bray was a registered guest at the hotel.
You want to call the office, Joe?
Yeah, all right, I'll do it.
You got change?
Yeah, I think I have. Yep. Okay.
City Hall.
2511.
2511.
Robbery, Powers.
Joe Friday, John. We're out at Bray's Hotel. We're going to stake it out. He's not in yet.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
What do you mean?
Market out on 12th Street was held up a minute ago.
Yeah?
Bandit carried a briefcase.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
Buy a pack. You'll find Fatimas now cost the same. Light a Fatima.
Ah, that's different.
What a difference.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos, the finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean yellow package, carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
.30 p.m. After checking Bray's room and finding nothing, Ben and I remained on stakeout at the Bartlett Hotel. The suspect failed to show up. At midnight, Young and Mackenzie came out and relieved us. We drove back to the office and got the particulars on the holdup of the 12th Street Market. The M.O. was almost exactly the same as in the other 16 robberies. The victim's description of the holdup man matched perfectly with Bray's. By noon the next day, the suspect still had not returned to his hotel. An intensive canvass of the immediate neighborhood around the Bartlett Hotel netted us nothing. Nobody remembered Bray. We checked the bars and restaurants that he was known to patronize. No one had any idea where he might be. Details at the airport, railroad stations, and bus terminals were alerted. We got out a supplementary description on our original APB. The sheriff's office was kept advised. 2 days passed. Still no sign. We questioned and re-questioned Al Daly. Either he couldn't or he wouldn't add anything to what he'd already told us about Bray. A series of stakeouts were placed at food markets in areas where Bray had staged robberies previously. A composite picture of the suspect was made up and given wide distribution throughout the city. It all went for nothing. The following Tuesday, March 4th, Bray robbed a neighborhood market in Highland Park of $150.
I had to give him the money, Sergeant. He threatened my wife and kids. Said he'd see something happen to them if I didn't open the safe.
Did you say he wore gloves, sir?
That's right. I thought it didn't jibe at first. A salesman wearing gloves like that. Didn't think about it till it was too late.
Did you notice if he was on foot or did he get away in a car?
He had a car, all right, parked down the street there. Saw it through the window. Another fellow was at the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice anything else about the car? The license number, maybe?
No, I couldn't see that. But it was a coupe. I'm sure of that.
Yeah?
It was red. Bright red.
There was one angle we couldn't figure. If Bray was bent on a steady career of robbery, why did he use an escape car painted the most conspicuous color possible? We checked out Mona Taylor's car again. There was no connection. The search went on. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, another month. Bray kept to his usual schedule, one robbery a week. The legwork went on, too. On March 20th, we got a call from one of Ben's informants. He told us that he'd seen a man answering Bray's description in the Venice Park amusement area down to the beach. When we drove down to Venice to check it out.
Pretty good crowd for a cold night.
Yeah. Where do we find this friend of yours?
See where the merry-go-round is up ahead?
Yeah?
Just beyond that. He runs one of the booths. You throw baseballs at phony milk bottles, 3 chances for a dime, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He and his wife run it. They've been out here for years. I don't know how they ever make a living at it. Hey, those hot dogs smell good, don't they?
Is that your friend's booth across the way there?
Yeah, it is.
Come on, fellas, show the girls how you can throw a baseball. Fill the milk. How about it? You'll let the girls have a free throw. Step up and win a prize.
Looks like Maud's running the place tonight. Maud, that's his wife.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Sergeant? Cold night, huh?
Hi, Maud. This is my partner, Joe Friday.
How are you?
Glad to know you, Joe. Guess you're looking for Scooter, huh?
Yeah, is he around?
Just down the way, Sarge. Hey, how about it? Sailor, try your luck. 1 thin dime. Spill the milk.
Pretty good crowd tonight, Maud.
Oh, yeah, but they're not spending. Hasn't been good at all lately.
Where'd you say your husband was, ma'am?
Just down the way. Old man Hudson's out to chow. Scooter runs a merry-go-round for him while he eats.
Yeah, thank you, Maud. We'll drop back and see you before we leave.
Right. Glad to meet you, Joe.
Yeah, glad I met you. Goodbye.
What do you say, girls? Have the boys show you how quick they can throw. Spill the milk. How about it?
Scooter, is that what you said? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, that's right. He used to run the scooter drum. You know, the little electric cars you drive around, bumpers all around?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Hey, Sure, be fine.
There he is. Scooter? Hey, Scooter!
Hi, Sarge. I've been waiting for you. Hop on.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Okay. How you doing, Sarge? Good to see you.
Scooter, my partner, Joe Friday.
How are you?
Yeah, glad to know you, Joe. I guess we can talk here as well as any place, huh?
Sure. What's the story, Scooter?
It's like I told you on the phone. Murphy down the Penny Arcade, he noticed the guy first. He pointed him out to me. He sure hits close to Bray's description.
Well, when did you first see him?
Oh, 2 nights ago. I wasn't so sure it was Bray the first time. Then I saw him last night. That cinched it.
I didn't hear that.
I said I saw him last night. That cinched it.
Oh. Well, when did this Murphy, was that his name? When did he first see him?
About a week ago. He's got an eagle eye for strangers who hang around. Murphy thinks the guy's staying out here someplace.
Is there any idea of where?
Yeah. Just a minute. No jumping around like that, son. Now you'll fall off and bang your head. Kids.
Where'd you spot this man, Scooter?
Same place Murphy did it. He's hanging around the shooting gallery down the way. The guy who runs the place is new. We don't know him well enough to ask him about it.
You mean this man who looks like Bray just hangs around the counter there?
Well, no, not exactly. You see, There's a little office to one side of the shooting gallery, and the times I seen the guy, he was either coming in or going out of there.
When's the last time you saw him, Scooter?
Huh?
I say, when's the last time you saw him?
Oh, earlier tonight, about 6:30. I think Murphy's right. The guy's holding up in there. Hold on there, Curly. Now, don't try to get off the merry-go-round till it stops. That's the girl.
Thank you a lot, Scooter. We'll check back with you before we leave.
Yeah, okay, Sarge. I hope it helps you out. I'm glad I met you, Joe.
Right, see you later. There's the shooting gallery down there by the bullseye, son. Yeah, if the guy is Bray, it's funny that he hasn't been spotted before. This area is pretty well patrolled here. Yeah.
Try your skill, fellas. 10 shots, only quarter.
We're police officers. Like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, what about?
What's your name?
Gridley. Max Gridley.
You know anybody by the name of James Bray?
Bray?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't. Why?
How about this, Mr. Gridley? Know anybody who fits that description?
No, it doesn't mean anything to me. What's the matter, anyway?
Well, a man answering that description has been seen entering and leaving this office right next door over here. It's part of your concession, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. But I'm the only one who uses it. Somebody must have got the wrong slant.
Then you wouldn't mind if we looked it over. Routine investigation.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, all right. I'll come around and open the door for you.
All right, come on.
It's just a cubby hole, as you can see. Trying to use it as a storage place. Sometimes I have my lunch in here. Take a nap once in a while.
Looks pretty well lived in. All those clothes are yours, Mr. Gridley?
That's right. Why?
Hey, Mac, how about a load on this thing?
Oh, it's customer. Excuse me, man. Be right back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Over here, have a look. This towel.
Yeah.
Look at the name stenciled on it.
Bartlett Hotel. 9:30 p.m. We advised the shooting gallery operator not to attempt any phone calls. Then I called the office, and Ricketts and Powers came out to help us with a stakeout on the shooting gallery and the adjoining office. Ben and I covered from the Penny Arcade directly opposite the shooting gallery. Ricketts and Powers were staked out 2 doors away at a stand that advertised handwriting analyzed, 25 cents. We waited. Ben munched on a bag of popcorn. 10:30 p.m., no sign of the suspect. 11 o'clock, still no sign.
Getting pretty cold. Everybody going home?
Yeah. You got any more of that popcorn there?
Oh, yeah, here you are. 2 pieces left. Very good.
Must have been. Not much in there now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can get another bag. Machine's right over there. No, turn it off. How about some peanuts?
No, thanks.
Oh, sure there's some in there, Joe. Want some?
No.
Sure would like to see Bray show up. Hate to spend the night staked out here.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Look.
Huh?
The shooting gallery. The guy in the blue suit.
He's talking to the manager. He's going around the side door.
Yeah, come on.
He's going inside.
All right, hold it right there, mister.
Joe, watch it.
Ricketts, Johnny, cover the back.
Right, Joe.
I'll get the door.
All right. Come on, let's hit it.
Yeah. Went out the back. Come on.
Yep.
Hold it.
Johnny's got him.
Yeah.
Good. Johnny, you okay?
Yeah. Roughly.
Let's roll him over, huh?
Yeah, all right. How about it, Joe?
Short, dark complexion, fat.
What do you think?
I don't know, but it's not Bray. Ricketts and Powers remained on stakeout at the shooting gallery while Ben and I took the suspect downtown along with the proprietor of the shooting gallery, Max Gridley. We had the man treated for cuts and bruises at Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, and we took him to the office. He identified himself as Blake Chatfield, an unemployed salesman. After 2 hours of questioning, he broke down and admitted that he was Bray's accomplice. In each of the 18 robberies, he drove the getaway car. He said for the past month, he and Bray had been living in the office adjoining the shooting gallery. He was booked at the New City Jail on suspicion of 211 PC. Max Gridley was held for further questioning. 1:35 a.m. We checked back in at the office.
Guess I had too many hot dogs out there.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Oh, indigestion. Maybe it was the popcorn.
A couple of messages in the book. The wife wants you to call her before you go home.
Hello, Amy. Yeah, long night, yeah. What? Loaf of graham bread. Well, I'll try. Okay, dear. Yeah, bye. Same old thing.
Yeah. I get it. Robbery Friday.
Johnny Powers, Joe.
Yeah, John. How's it going?
Jimmy Bray finally showed. We got him.
Any trouble?
No. Drove up in a bright red coupe. Couldn't miss him.
Mm-hmm. You coming in now?
Yeah, just leaving. See ya.
Right, John. Bye. Well, I picked up Bray. Bringing him in now.
Good. Sure been a long haul, almost 5 months.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Where am I going to get a loaf of graham bread at this time in the morning?
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. For the past few weeks, I've asked you to send me the names of dealers who are out of Fatimas. You see, the demand for Fatimas is so great, I want to make sure that all of you can buy them. So keep on writing. If you find a dealer fresh out of Fatimas, let me know, and we'll have something done about it. Write your dealer's name and address on a card and mail it to me, Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. That's Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. Now, a word for you, Mr. Dealer. The coming holiday season will find new thousands insisting on Fatima quality. So step up your orders for Fatima tomorrow. Get in on the increasing demand for the quality long cigarette.
James R. Bray and Blake A. Chatfield were tried and convicted on several counts of armed robbery and received sentences as prescribed by law. Max Gridley was filed on for failure to register as an ex-convict. Bray and Chatfield are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield, always wins first place. That Miler mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Coming up, We the People, then Screen Directors Playhouse on NBC.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Juvenile Bureau. A pair of fake talent scouts are at work in your city. Their victims, young girls seeking careers in Hollywood. The criminals are vicious and relentless. Your job, get them.
You will be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you,
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, May 7th. It was mild in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Bureau. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Inspector Bowling, Commander, Juvenile Division. My name's Friday. It was 10:13 a.m. when I got to 1335 Georgia Street, second floor. The squad room.
Hi.
Hi, Ben.
Did you pick up that latest run the stats office made for us?
No, I don't think they got it ready yet.
Notice there in the book it's been ready since yesterday. You were over there. You could have picked it up.
Well, yeah. What's the matter with you this morning? Don't you feel good?
Just this stinking cold seems to be settling in my chest. Miserable. Yes, sir? Can I help you?
Oh, yes. I'd like some information, please. This is the Juvenile Bureau, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, sir. What can we do for you?
Well, mind if I sit down? I'm climbing those stairs. Takes your breath away.
Yeah, sure. Here you are.
Thank you. My name's Wayne Kenworthy, officers. I'm out here on a convention. My home is in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Went out last night with some of the boys at the convention. We stopped at a bar down on your Alvarado Street.
Alvarado.
Anyway, we were drinking there, and the bartender got to talking to us. Finally offered us some pictures for sale. I got one of them right here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There you are. I paid him $2 for it. Just look at that.
Yeah, it's filth.
Do you have the address of the bar where you bought this?
Yes, sir, I have. That's not the reason I'm here, though. I'm not a one-man moral squad. I'm not the type makes a habit of buying obscene photographs of young girls, either.
Yes, sir, we understand.
Now, I bought this picture from that bartender because I know the young girl in it. She's the daughter of one of my neighbors back home in Minnesota. Known her ever since she was a baby.
I see.
This girl came out here about 8 months ago to live with a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She was crazy for Hollywood. Thought she might break into the movies or something. She stopped writing her folks about 2 months ago. Hasn't been heard from since.
Well, it sounds like a case for a missing persons bureau, Mr. Kenway.
Well, the girl's folks have already contacted them. Nothing's been turned up. Nothing at all. Then last night, just by an accident, the bartender shows me this photograph. It's that girl, all right. No mistake.
Well, we'll do everything we can to help straighten it out, sir.
Well, that young girl I know. I've known her since she was a baby. Good family, good training. She never would have posed for a photograph like this. Rotten filth. She's just not the type, that's all.
Yes, sir, we understand.
What was this young girl's name, Mr. Kenworthy?
Lois Brewster, that's her real name. When she wrote her folks, she was using another name while she was out here. Thought it might help her movie chances. Drake, I think that's what it was.
Linda Drake?
Yeah, that's right.
About 5'4", 115 pounds, dark hair, dark eyes.
That's right. Yeah. You know where she is?
Oh, yeah, we do. We had her case called to our attention.
Where is she? Is she all right?
No, sir. She's dead. Two days before Mr. Kenworthy walked into Juvenile Bureau, the body of a young girl had been washed up on the shore just below the beach town of Venice. Apparently, she'd taken her own life. The girl was a brunette, attractive, not more than 17 years old. There was no identification on the body except for a rent receipt found in one of the pockets of a cotton jacket that the girl had been wearing. The rent receipt was made out to Linda Drake. It was signed R.L. King, 876 Peoria Avenue. The address was checked out, and R.L. King was found to be the girl's landlady. After identifying the body, she told investigating officers that Lois Brewster, alias Linda Drake, had lived at her rooming house with a girlfriend for about 6 months. The girlfriend's name was Joyce Fowler. The landlady went on to explain that the two girls had moved out about a week before without leaving a forwarding address. The Fowler girl had said that she would call back for any mail that might be delivered to the Peoria Avenue address. There had been no other leads to the dead girl's background or identity until her former neighbor from Minnesota, Mr. Wayne Kenworthy showed up. Later that day, Ben and I met with Inspector Bowling and briefed him.
Dirty, rotten business.
I'll buy that.
How far have you gotten with it?
Check the dead girl's prints with the missing persons bulletin, Miss Lois Brewster.
We notified the girl's parents in Minnesota. They're coming out to claim the body. It's pretty tragic. She's an only daughter.
17 years old.
Same old story, we figure, Skipper. Some phony talent scout grabbed her and showed her the bright lights, got her to pose for those pictures one way or another. They can make a teenage girl go one of 100 directions after that.
This one ended up on the beach. That's all I care about now. How about the girlfriend Lois Brewster was living with?
Joyce Fowler? No word so far.
Well, what about it? Any ideas?
Well, it pretty much depends on finding this Joyce Fowler. There's no background on her. We got out on all points.
How about phony talent scouts? Cheap modeling schools, photographers? Check out that angle.
We put 4 of them away in the past 6 months. Another half dozen are being watched.
We can start double-checking them tomorrow.
Now, how about that picture that old fella Kenworthy brought in? Any lead there?
We gathered a dozen samples just like it. One's as bad as the other. They're all printed on the same quality photographic paper. There's no markings of any kind on them. It's a common type of paper.
All right, then get on the distribution angle. Stay on it. Every rotten bum that peddles this trash, you get them. I want them right up the line. Distributors, wholesalers, guy that prints the pictures, guy that takes them, every lousy one of them.
I still can't figure.
What's that?
Well, the Brewster girl is a good home there, good training. She knew right from wrong. Kids don't forget that in a hurry.
That might have been her trouble.
How do you mean?
She remembered it.
Wednesday, May 8th. 6 teams of men from Juvenile Division, working in conjunction with the Detective Bureau, started the drive against the obscene literature and photography traffic. Within 2 weeks, more than a dozen wholesalers, distributors, and small-time peddlers had been apprehended and were awaiting prosecution. But we still had failed to uncover any new leads in the Lois Brewster case. The roommate, Joyce Fowler, the all-important witness in the case, was still missing. No trace of her. The dead girl's parents arrived in the city, claimed the body, and took it back to Minnesota for burial. The drive continued. Another week passed. On May 29th, on a tip from a usually reliable informant, Ben and I checked out a small photographic studio on Sunset Boulevard, operated by an Emil Joseph Martin. He was sullen and uncooperative. We checked through his files.
Just what I told you. A few special shots I keep filed away just for laughs. Once in a while, a friend drops in. I print one of them up for him. Yeah. Hold that one up to the light. Some of them are nice-looking dolls, huh? I print one up for my friends once in a while.
What kind of friends do you have?
What?
How about this negative here, Martin? Do you mind printing this one up for us now?
Sure, officer. My compliments. How many copies you want?
One's enough.
If you say so. Let's see. One of the best. I'll print it up right now. This way. This one's a real collector's item, you know.
Yeah, right.
A friend of mine got me the negative. $100 it cost me. Worth it, though. I'll make up a couple of prints for you, huh?
One's good.
Okay, anything you say. You want to get that light switch?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Beautiful negative. Yeah. You picked a good one, all right. Yeah. There's the paper in here. Yeah, that does it. Okay, one print. That's all you want?
That's all.
Okay, let's put it in the soup. Yeah, I bet you get a kick out of this one. Real beautiful girl.
How'd you happen to get a hold of this negative? Did you take the picture?
No, a friend of mine got it for me. It cost me a C-note. There we go. Put it in the stubber. There we go. How about that?
How about the guy you got this negative from? Did he take the picture?
No, he bought it from somebody else. Don't know who. Cost him $350. Worth it, Tom, huh? Hi. Isn't that Bureau?
We've seen him before.
Oh, that's so, you know her?
Only from her pictures.
Oh. Of course, you understand I didn't take the picture. I just bought a negative, that's all. You couldn't tag me for that, could you?
We're going to try, mister. Get your coat.
Oh, no. Wait a minute now, officers. I'm small fry in this operation. You know that. You want the big fish, right?
We want all of you.
You know who they are?
Well, some, maybe. Must be worth something to you.
Well, you know better than that, Martin. If you cooperate, we'll mention it in our report. That's all we can do. No promises.
Not a very good offer.
You're not in a very good position.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, I'll tell you.
Emil J. Martin was booked at City Jail for violation of 311 PC. His file of lewd photographs and negatives were impounded and booked as evidence. With the help of information which the suspect had given us, we were able to round up 3 wholesalers and another distributor of obscene books and photographs. Each one of them was questioned thoroughly. We ran into the same old routine. They denied knowing anything about the man who was masterminding the racket or where he was operating from. The Lois Brewster case dragged on. No progress. In virtually every case of tracing the lewd pictures to the point of production, the investigating officers were able to link the small-time peddlers to their distributor and the distributor to the wholesaler. Well, that's where it stopped, a dead end. Beyond that, nobody knew anything about the operation of the racket. Stakeouts were set up at locations where sales and deliveries of obscene material were known to have been made. Nothing happened. The drive stalled. Thursday, June 11th.
Now, Joe?
Yes, Gilbert?
First piece of news in the month. The policewoman just called it in.
Yeah?
Lois Brewster's girlfriend, Joyce Fowler?
Yeah?
She's been found.
You are listening to Dragnet for the solution to an actual case from official police files. Now, here's a real solution to many of your Christmas shopping problems.
If your friends smoke long cigarettes, give the best of long cigarettes. Give king-size Fatima.
You see, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild, and superbly blended to give smokers a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes, rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the distinctive royal blue Fatima gift carton, Christmas wrapped and carefully sealed to ensure Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
So this Christmas, give your friends the best. Give Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all, long cigarettes.
Like most organized crime, the traffic in obscene literature and photographs is a racket jealously guarded because of its heavy profit. It's nationwide, and every year it nets millions of dollars for underworld promoters and their employees. As an organized business, it's one of the most vicious and insidious rackets that exist today, despite the fact that many citizens regard it lightly. Thursday, June 11th, 10 a.m., Ben and I met with policewoman Paula Johnson. She told us that the previous evening, Joyce Fowler, the girl Lois Brewster had been living with, had gotten into a brawl with an unidentified man at a bar on Sunset Boulevard. Police officers arriving at the scene identified her as the missing girl and handed her over to juvenile authorities. At 10:30 a.m., Joyce Fowler was brought to the interrogation room. She was a tall brunette, fairly attractive. She looked older than her age. Together with policewoman Paula Johnson, Ben and I questioned her.
I was out on a date with this man. We were sitting at the bar, and he started saying things I didn't like. What a row, that's all.
The man seemed quite a bit older than you, Joyce. Was he a good friend of yours?
Friend. He was about 50, I guess. I thought he was all right. He wasn't.
How old are you, Joyce?
21.
We've checked your background, Joyce. You might as well tell the truth.
All right, I'm 17. I'll be 18 next week. Look, can't I go get an aspirin? I've got a terrible headache.
I got some in my locker. Be right back.
Okay.
I still don't know why I'm here. What do you want to know?
Well, you were a good friend of Lois Brewster's. You lived with her, is that right?
Is that why I'm here?
It's one of the reasons. Lois spent 8 months out here before her death. As far as these officers know, you lived with her during those 8 months. We want to find out what happened to her. We want to find out what's happening to you.
Nothing's happening to me. I can take care of myself.
That's what Lois Brewster thought, Joey. How about her? You tell us?
She didn't know what she was doing. I don't know what happened to her. I'm to blame for bringing her out here, but it's not my fault what happened to her. It's not my fault.
Well, whose fault is it?
All of them. The whole rotten, dirty bunch of them.
Here's your aspirin.
You two of them being out?
Thanks.
I'll get some water.
Something wrong, Joyce? Don't you feel well?
I'll be all right.
All right, here you are.
Thanks. I don't remember too well how it started. Lois came out to Hollywood to live with me for 6 months, you know.
Yeah, we know.
We tried to get modeling jobs, bit parts in the movies. We didn't have much luck. We had to eat, pay the rent. So we took jobs as waitresses at a drive-in place out on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Are you still working there?
No, we were only there 2 weeks, and we got this other job. That's when it started.
And what was that?
One day, these 2 men drove in with a brand-new Cadillac, ordered a couple of Cokes. I could tell they were watching us, Lois and me. When they were leaving, they gave me a card. They said they were talent scouts. They asked us to come to their offices for interviews.
You still have the card they gave you?
No, I looked for it once. Guess I lost it.
Mm-hmm. Would you go on, please?
The older fellow's name was Fred Ramus. Other one was Mr. Gilbert. They were both very nice. We didn't think anything was wrong.
Didn't you go for the interview?
Yes, Lois and I both went. They talked to us a lot, had us read out of a script and walk up and down. They said both of us showed a lot of promise. They said they wanted to be our agents, so we signed a paper. Fred Ramus told us he'd see we got a break.
Mm-hmm. Did either of them ever arrange any legitimate interviews for you? I mean, with the movie studios, radio, television, anything like that?
No. They took us out quite a bit, restaurants, nightclubs. Told us we had to be seen around town first. Had to show us off to the producers, all the important movie people. Both of them were very nice.
Did you keep on working at the drive-in?
No, they had me and Lois quit the job. Said it wouldn't look right. We still had to eat. We still had to pay our rent. That's when they brought up the idea of the pictures.
What pictures do you mean, Joyce?
I'm sorry. Could I have some more water, please?
Oh, yeah?
Fred Ramus and Mr. Gilbert took us out to a big nightclub one night. Fred told us that if Lois and I had some good pictures taken of ourselves, he could show them around and get us jobs as models. That is, till we got a break in the movies.
Here you are.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Up to that time, how long had you known these 2 men?
About a month and a half. I didn't see anything wrong in it, so Lois and I went to this photographer's studio with Mr. Ramus, and we had our portraits taken. Regular pictures.
Oh, excuse me, Joyce. Did both of these men know how old your girls were?
We told them the truth. We were both 17.
Mm-hmm. And what happened after that?
Mr. Ramus came back and said he'd found an advertising agency that wanted to buy pictures of Lois and me. He said we'd get $20 apiece every time we posed.
For portraits?
No, for posing in bathing suits, pajamas, things like that. They were supposed to be for magazine ads. In about a week, he brought us to his office and said the agency wanted us to pose without clothes, without anything. He said he'd pay us $40 for that.
Oh, go on, George.
They showed us lots of pictures of models like that. They talked about it all the time. We kept saying no, both of us, Lois and I.
Did you ever agree to pose for the kind of pictures they wanted?
You can't agree to something you don't know about. I don't know how it happened, but it did. Mr. Gilbert and Fred Ramus, they kept taking us out. We used to drink quite a bit with them. Went on for weeks, I guess. One night there was a big party. We drank. Lois and I got separated. I still don't know what happened.
I see.
Next morning, we both woke up with headaches. Fred Ramus came and showed us the pictures. I felt dirty all over. I don't know how it happened, I swear it. Lois began to cry. I hit Mr. Ramus. I slapped him.
And what does Mr. Ramus tell you?
He pretended to be very nice about it. Said he'd pay us well if we go on posing for pictures, the kind he wanted. If we didn't, he said he'd wreck any chance we might have in Hollywood. Said he'd see that the pictures got out. Threatened to send copies to our families, our friends back home.
Didn't you think of going to the police?
We talked about it. We were afraid of the publicity, the newspapers. We just kept going on, doing what he said. It's like a nightmare. Kept getting worse. We kept getting in deeper.
Sergeant, you have that envelope.
Yeah.
You recognize these pictures, Joyce?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos and Mr. Gilbert, they have your clothes for these?
Yes, that's some of them. We always drank a lot, so we wouldn't remember. That's not why Lois is dead, though. Those pictures aren't the reason.
Well, how do you mean, Joyce?
Ramos and Gilbert, they'd fix up dates for us. They said the men were their friends. 3 or 4 times a week they'd call. We had to go out with them. We had to do what they said. One morning we got home about 5:30 in the morning. Lois changed, said she was going for a walk. I went to bed. She left a note. I never saw her again.
I see. Mel? Oh, yeah, just a minute. It's that long-distance call we placed to your home, Joyce. Joanne.
Oh, thanks. Hello? Yeah, it's me, Joyce. Yeah, it was just a mistake. Yeah. How's Uncle Henry? Swell. No, it's all right. Don't you worry. Yeah, all right. I'll write you tomorrow. Yeah, bye. Thanks for placing the call, Sergeant.
You're welcome. Glad to do it.
Anything else you want to know?
Yeah, there's just one more thing. Do you still have that note that Lois Brewster wrote before she died?
No, I lost it. I remember what it said, though.
Yeah.
It said, I'm sorry. It was signed Lois. That's all.
Joyce Fowler supplied us with the addresses of Fred Ramos and his partner, Gilbert. She gave us all the names and addresses of all their friends and employees that she knew of. She also pointed out their offices and base of operations. Inspector Bowling ordered an immediate investigation into the background and business activities of both men. Previously convicted wholesalers and distributors of obscene photographs were called back in and re-questioned. We finally completed the missing link in the supply line from the peddler to the producer. 5 former workers for Ramos and Gilbert fingered them as head men controlling the racket. Their offices and studios were raided and their files seized as evidence. On June 18th, Fred Ramos and his partner, Harold Gilbert, were placed under arrest.
What's the pitch, Sergeant? What's this all about?
I think you know, Mr. Ramos.
You can't tag me on those pictures.
You want to get your hat?
It's artwork, legitimate artwork. My lawyer can prove that.
He better be good.
You bet he is. You know, I'm kind of surprised at you cops taking the word of somebody like that Fowler girl. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's a psycho.
Is that right?
Why, sure. I tried to do something with her and that girlfriend of hers. I even signed up as her agent. They were hopeless.
You've got quite a stack of negatives here. Pictures of both of them. 17-year-olds.
They're just candid shots, you know. Spicy for my private collection. There's nothing wrong in that. I figured I'd give the girls a break, let them earn a few bucks.
Yeah?
Look, I couldn't have treated those girls better. I took them around, showed them the town. Both psychos. I never did trust them.
Well, that's the big difference, Ramos.
Huh?
They trusted you.
Fred Ramos and Harold Gilbert were brought downtown to Inspector Bowling's office. Joyce Fowler was seated next to the desk. Gilbert was brought in. She identified him. He was taken out and held for booking.
All right, bring in the next one.
All right, come on.
Yeah. Can you identify this man, Miss Fowler?
Yes. He's Fred Ramos.
What's the trouble, Joyce? Weren't you satisfied with what I was paying you? Could have settled this between ourselves. If you had any beef, you could have come to me.
You're lucky, Fred. I'd kill you now if I could.
Oh, Joyce, come on now. Sit down.
All right, Sloan, take him out.
Joyce, sit down. Come on, sit down.
Be back in a minute, Joe.
All right.
I'm sorry. Doesn't do any good. Are there any more?
No, that's about all. You've helped quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad I could do it. Is that all, Sergeant?
Well, for now, yeah. You'll have to testify at the trial. After that, the juvenile court's going to keep in pretty close touch with you.
I see.
Aren't you going back home, Joyce? To Minnesota?
No, it'd be the same old thing. My aunt'd be glad to see me for the first week. Then she'd start all over again, hollering at me, picking. Wouldn't be any use.
What are you going to do out here, Joy? You know?
I know a nice fella in Santa Monica. He's going to get me a job at a brand new drive-in. Cute uniforms.
But I don't think juvenile court's going to let you take a job like that, Joyce.
I hope so. A lot of talent scouts go there. Radio, movie producers. They might notice me.
Yeah?
Never can tell. Might lead to something.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 4th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 91, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here's our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. To get year-round thanks for the gift that you give this Christmas, why not give Fatimas to every long cigarette smoker on your list? Their first pack of extra mild Fatimas will have them convinced, like I am, that in Fatima, the difference is quality. And Christmas Fatimas come in a distinctive royal blue slip-over jacket that makes a perfect gift just as is. Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima, the difference is quality. Give Fatimas, the quality king-size cigarette, to every long cigarette smoker.
Fred Ramus and Harold Gilbert were tried and convicted on several counts of rape and lewd conduct. They received sentences as prescribed by law and are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield always wins first place. That milder mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you'll smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Coming up, We the People, with stories of today on NBC.
The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. You've been tracking a hold-up man for months. You finally get a line on where he's hiding. You know he's dangerous, well-armed. Your job, get him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, March 18th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Ed Walker. My name's Friday. It was 9:48 p.m. when I got to room 27A. Robbery detail.
Joe?
Hi, you ready to go?
Yeah, we better hustle.
Here's your top coat, Joe.
Oh, thank you, Ben. Where's Tom?
We can pick him up down the hall. He's checking out some tear gas shells. Might need them.
How about the address? You confirm it?
2100 Buchanan Avenue. It's a corner house.
Skipper? You know what to expect when you get out there. Don't take any chances.
He's alone in the house, all right?
Supposed to be, yeah. That won't give you much of a break.
How do you mean?
He's heavy on guns. 2 revolvers and a hunting rifle.
Yeah.
He's not shy about using them. Don't forget it.
Right, Ed. Slacks, Ben?
Let's go.
Okay.
It's been a long haul.
Yeah, I hope this washes it up.
Hunting rifle, couple of revolvers. What do you think, Joe?
Well, 18 robberies in 3 months. You know the guy as well as I do.
Yeah.
What's your guess? His name was Hoffman, George R. In our files, his criminal record dated back to high school days. Petty theft, grand theft auto, burglary, armed robbery. His record included 2 terms at Preston Reformatory and 1 at San Quentin. Hoffman's latest campaign was a 3-month run of armed robberies. We tried everything we knew to stop him, but it wasn't enough. We'd failed to get a line on him until one of Captain Walker's informants came up with a tip that Hoffman had been hiding out for the past month in a small bungalow on the corner of Buchanan Avenue and Selma Street. According to the information, the suspect had a good supply of food, ammunition, and 3 guns. 10:15 p.m., together with Sergeants Tom Gaffney and Slats Henry, Ben and I parked our car down the street and started toward the house. It was foggy. The street was poorly lighted. As we approached the house, we could see a light burning in one of the rooms at the rear of the bungalow.
The light in the back room, Joe, just went out.
Yeah. Slats, you and Tom want to cover the back?
Right. Let's go, Tom.
Be careful. Huh?
Yeah.
All right, Ben. Easy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, Joe. Huh? Curtains in that corner room. I thought I saw him move.
Tom, get out!
Come on, Ben, the front door. Yeah, come on. Come on, hit it. Yeah. Come on, hit it again. Yeah, all right. Come on. They got it blocked or something. Something piled against it. Come on, once more. Watch the furniture, Joe. Yeah. That front room's clear. Come on.
Went out the side window.
Where'd he go?
Across the street. Got him pinned down behind that car there. He's in the car.
All right, let's go for the tires. All right, Hoffman, give it up. Cover this end, Slats. Right. Ben, that hedge across the street, you see it?
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's run for it. Come on.
You okay, Joe?
Yeah. Hoffman! You haven't got a chance. Throw out your guns. Okay, Ben, give it back here.
All right. I'm coming out.
Throw out your guns. Throw them in the street.
Here they are.
All right, get out of the car. Hands behind your head. Come on.
All right, hands behind your back now.
Slats.
Yeah?
You want to get our car?
Right, Joe.
Who told you? Who gave you the tip?
Does it matter?
I made it easy enough for you. Lousy car wouldn't start. I'd be 3 miles away if it would have started.
Better call the tow truck, huh, Joe?
Let me give it a look, huh?
Lousy luck, that's all it is.
What was wrong with it, Joe?
I tried it. It wouldn't start for me.
You should have turned on the ignition. George Hoffman was taken downtown and booked on suspicion of robbery. At a special show-up, he was identified by more than a dozen of his robbery victims. Between his arraignments and his preliminary hearings, we worked together with the district attorney's office in lining up witnesses and preparing the evidence against the suspect. We figured we had an airtight case. Hoffman's trial in Superior Court was set for May 14th.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Slats. What's doing?
It's still raining, Hoffman?
Yeah, this trial's coming up. Hey, what happened to your eye?
Yeah, how about that? I'll never live with that down.
Yeah, come here, let's see.
First real black eye I ever had. Had them bruised plenty. They hurt, you know.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Well, every week Gaffney and I go up to the neighborhood boys club after work to help coach the kids at sports, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last week we had boxing lessons.
Yeah.
I was coaching this one youngster. He turned out to be a lot quicker than I thought. You're really connected.
Mm-hmm. I guess everybody in the building's heard the story, huh?
Yeah, just about. Gaffney took care of that. Captain called me in this morning, asked me if I wanted to file assault charges against the kid. Some joke.
Yeah, never fails. You still coaching the kids up there?
No, not this week. Kids are supposed to get lessons in wrestling. I'm not taking any chances.
Yeah?
They've been watching television for months. I'll see you later, Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Hi, Ben. How you doing?
Pretty good. Put your coat on, Joe. Yeah? What's the matter?
George Hoffman.
Yeah?
Just broke jail.
The morning of his escape, Hoffman was scheduled to appear in Superior Court for arraignment. According to routine, he was taken from his county jail cell on the 12th floor of the Hall of Justice and escorted to the jail shower room on the 14th floor. There he was to take a bath, change to his civilian clothes for his appearance in court. While he was in the shower room, he turned on the hot water faucets, filling the room with steam to hide his actions from the guard. He succeeded in forcing his way out through one of the windows, climbed up one story to the roof. Realizing that he couldn't escape down through the building, he lowered himself over the ledge of the roof and, using the narrow crevices between the bricks to hold on, he climbed 7 stories down the outside of the building. At the 8th floor, he found an open window and got inside. He slugged the bailiff, who tried to stop him, and then ran down the remaining flights of stairs into the street and disappeared in the crowd. 20 minutes later, he robbed a dentist's office at 3rd and Los Angeles Streets and got away. Police and sheriff's deputies covered the city for him. Ben and I were among them. 11:55 p.m. We checked back in with Captain Ed Walker.
KGPL Los Angeles.
You want to cut that speaker, Ben?
Yeah. 11A, 6 Spring, 118.
Nothing. Not a trace of him.
He must have a good friend someplace in town.
Everything's covered. His friends, relatives, his hideout, everyone he knows, every place he's ever been. We plugged every loophole we can think of. The depots, terminals, the airports, still no trace of him.
Well, I don't know. It sure is a strange one.
No stranger than climbing down the side of a building.
Did you check that story out, Ed?
It's the truth. Apparently, Hoffman planned the thing out pretty carefully.
How do you mean?
The sheriff's men talked to some of the prisoners in the jail. They said Hoffman was practicing for it since the day we put him in there. He'd work out 5 to 6 hours every night, building up his hands and fingers.
How'd he do that?
Use the upper bunk in his cell, hang from the edge of it with the tips of his fingers. He'd do it for hours, pulling his body up and down. Made little grooves in the wall, dug his fingertips into them. Prisoners say he got so he could hold himself up like that 10 minutes at a stretch.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. How about the bailiff he slugged?
He'll be all right. A couple of bad bumps on the head, that's all. Robbery, Walker. Oh, yeah, Little John. I sent them out about 10 minutes ago to relieve you. Yeah, they ought to be there pretty soon. Right.
How about our schedule, Ed?
As far as I know, we're going all night on this thing. Sheriff's office the same.
Mm-hmm.
You two were relieved at 11:30. Better check back about 5:30 a.m. Okay.
Right. It's a hot shot.
I got it.
What is it?
Drugstore holdup. They think it's Hoffman.
The scene of the holdup was the Rex Lake Pharmacy on the corner of Pico Boulevard and Pine Lake Street. The victim, a Mr. Clarence Geringer, told us that the holdup man had entered through a rear door, slugged him, and escaped on foot with his overcoat and about $150 in cash. We showed him a number of mug shots. He identified George Hoffman as the bandit. A special detail of men were ordered on a thorough search of the general area around the drugstore. No sign of the suspect. The citywide dragnet continued all that night and into the next day. No developments. The search went on. A week passed. 2 weeks. At 10 p.m. on the day Hoffman was scheduled to be tried in Superior Court, he beat up and robbed a 40-year-old liquor salesman in the Highland Park area. Again, he made good his escape. Routine investigation failed to turn up a single lead. June 8th. The suspect was still at large. The legwork continued.
817, is that the address you got?
Yeah, he said it was near the corner.
Oh, yeah, there it is. The Townsend Hobby Shop.
Yeah, let's go in.
Mm-hmm. Joe, look at the electric train. Look at that one. Beautiful layout, huh?
Mm-hmm. I guess that's all they handle in here, electric trains, huh? Must be money in it.
Look at those signals there and switches. They're all automatic. Wonder if my boy's old enough for a train yet.
That must be the manager over there. Come on. Say, excuse me, sir?
Just a moment, please. Be right with you. Got to check this transformer.
All right.
Uh-huh. Automatic coupling on the tanker car looked out of kilter. My mistake. Now let's see, Tim. Yes, she's a dandy, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. Have to keep up our maintenance on the rolling stock. What can I do for you?
Police officers, we're looking for a Mr. Townsend.
Oh, yes, I'm Roy Townsend. Are you the sergeant I talked with on the phone?
Yes, sir, that's right. This is my partner, Sergeant Romero.
Hi, Mr. Townsend.
You mentioned that you might have some information for us.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I may have. About that fellow who climbed out and escaped. What was in all the papers?
George Hoffman.
Hoffman, that's it. I'm a pretty good one for faces. I think I might have seen him last night.
Where was that?
On my way home from the meeting. I belong to a model train club. Don't get enough of it here every day.
Yes, sir. We'd like to know about this man that you saw.
As I say, I saw him going into the auto court just down the street from where Mother and I live. It was pretty late, after midnight.
Where do you live, Mr. Townsend?
Over by Pasadena, Royal Oaks Avenue. I know Mrs. Cox at the auto court very well.
I see. Well, this man that you saw last night, you sure it was Hoffman?
I saw his picture in the paper when he climbed down and escaped. I don't say I'm positive it was him, but I'm good on faces.
Well, wonder if you'd mind checking through these pictures.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, this one. He's the one I saw. Am I right?
That's Hoffman. Do you happen to know if he's staying there at that auto court?
Oh, yes. He's been there for a month. Say, Sergeant, if you find out it really is this Hoffman, don't tell Mrs. Cox at the auto court. It'd just break her heart.
Oh, is that so?
She's sort of an amateur detective. She thinks she knows faces better than I do.
After we left the train shop, we called the office and filled them in. Captain Walker called Pasadena and notified them. Then we drove out to the auto court where the suspect was reportedly seen.
Yes, you want something?
Yeah, are you Mrs. Cox?
Yes, I'm the manager here. If you want lodgings, we're filled up. You might try the Golden Eagle straight down the street there.
Police officers, Miss Cox. Do you have a Mr. Hoffman staying here?
Hoffman? No, I don't. Got a Hoffmeyer, though. You sure that's not it?
Well, would you look at this picture, ma'am? Recognize it?
Well, yes, but his name's not Hoffman. It's Kane. Number 23. He's not in, though. Left this morning.
Was that so?
Yes, won't be back for another hour.
You are listening to Dragnet, for the solution to an actual case from official police files. Now, here's a real solution to many of your Christmas shopping problems.
If your friends smoke long cigarettes, give the best of long cigarettes. Give king-size Fatima.
You see, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give smokers a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes, rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the distinctive royal blue Fatima gift carton. Christmas wrapped and carefully sealed to ensure Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima, the difference is quality.
So this Christmas, give your friends the best. Give Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
Before going on stakeout at the auto court where George Hoffman was registered, Ben put in a call to the office. The owner of the court, Mrs. Cox, gave us a pass key to cottage number 23 where the suspect was staying. We advised her to say nothing to Hoffman when he returned. We went to cottage 23 and waited. An hour passed. Hoffman failed to show. Another hour went by. Still no sign of him.
Well, what do you think?
You got me, I don't know.
More than an hour overdue. No chance it could have been tipped.
Well, I don't see how. Mrs. Cox is the only one who knows we're here.
There's no reason for her to warn him. I don't know. His things are all here. His clothes.
Well, we've had longer waits than this. Relax, huh?
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute.
Can you see who it is?
Man, coming from next door. Joe?
Okay, I'll cover you. Open it.
Oh, your new telephone directory?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Anything wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong, thanks. New phone book.
Yeah. We waited another hour. George Hoffman still had failed to appear. At 4 that afternoon, we checked with the office. No word. At 5:30, we were still waiting.
I was just thinking, Joe.
Yeah?
That fellow Townsend in the train shop. That sure must be a dandy hobby, electric train.
Yeah, it runs into money, though, doesn't it?
Well, I think I'll talk to the wife about it. Their education, you know. My boy sure get a kick out of having his own train.
He's pretty young, isn't he? 3 years old?
Well, I could show him how to work it, put things together for him. I'll get it.
All right.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, Lightning. When? Okay, thanks.
What's doing?
Skipper just got a call from Pasadena.
Yeah?
They picked up Hoffman 10 minutes ago.
The suspect, George Hoffman, was taken back to Los Angeles and lodged in county jail. This time there was no escape. At his Superior Court trial on August 16th, he was convicted on several counts of armed robbery and sentenced to the state penitentiary. From August to January of the following year, the months went fast. We washed up a string of liquor store holdups just before Christmas, got 2 days off. My Uncle George and Aunt Allen came down from Renton, Washington to visit with my mother during the holidays. In January, Ben was off work for a week with a bad dose of flu. Another 5 months went by. Toward the end of June, we got word that George Hoffman was no longer at the state penitentiary. After serving 11 months, the former holdup man had been paroled into the Army with the provision that he serve overseas. Another 3 weeks passed. July 12th, Tuesday, Ben and I had lunch at Koken's Cafe and checked back in at the office.
I wish Koken would change his menus a little oftener. Fried beans and pastrami sandwiches seems to have the same thing every time.
Well, you sure dug into them. I got the idea that you'll like them.
Oh, like them all right. I just eat too much, that's all. 3 sandwiches, 2 plates of beans. No wonder I never ate dinner.
Dan? Joe?
Yeah.
You two back from lunch? I want to grab a sandwich.
Yeah, go ahead, Slats. We can cover.
Okay, thanks. Say, there's somebody waiting in the next room for you. Wants to see you.
Okay, see you later.
Right.
Want to see who it is, Joe? I'll check the book.
Yeah, all right, fine. Yes, sir. My name's Friday. You want to see me?
Yeah, that's right, Sergeant. Remember me? George Hoffman?
Oh, yeah, Hoffman. The Army uniform there. I didn't recognize you.
Yeah, I thought it might fool you. I guess you heard about me. Good break, huh?
I'm glad you feel that way. How you doing with the Army, huh?
Pretty good. I like it.
That's fine.
Just thought I'd drop up and see you fellas. You still with that partner you had? What's his name? Rodriguez?
Romero. Yeah, we still work together.
Yeah, Romero. I knew it was some kind of name like that.
Yeah, well, come on in, Hoffman.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, Ben. George Hoffman here. He stopped in to see us.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Been a long time, Hoffman. How are you?
Pretty good, Sergeant. Thanks. Just thought I'd stop by, you know. Sure there's no hard feelings?
Oh, sure thing. You got any idea when you're going overseas?
Boys in my outfit figured day after tomorrow. That's kind of one reason why I dropped in to see you.
Well, how's that?
Well, I know it's pretty nervy, but I got lots of that. You see, a bunch of us are on leave till tomorrow noon. Figured we'd go out tonight, and I'm a little short. You know how the Army pays.
Okay, well, how about a couple of bucks, George? Will that do you any good?
Yeah. Sure to swell you, Sergeant. Believe me, I'll see you get it back.
Well, here's a couple more, Hoffman. Might help out.
Well, it's no use telling you how much I appreciate it. I give you my word I won't forget it. I'm going to pay this money back to you.
Don't forget it, George. We're glad to help you out.
Well, Thanks again for the touch, huh? Sure nice of you.
Okay. Now, drop a card if you get a chance. Like to hear how you're doing over there.
Sure thing. See you later, huh?
Right. Good luck to you, boy. Well, looks like a turn for the better anyway, huh? Mm-hmm. But it was my last $2, doggone it. It never failed. Well, we had to give him something. Yeah, but what do I do for lunch money tomorrow? 2 p.m. We drove out to the Wilshire district to interview a robbery victim. We brought him back downtown and took his statement. 4:30 p.m. We checked back in with Captain Walker.
Hi, Skipper. Henry says that ex-con George Hoffman was in today.
Yeah.
You talked to him.
Yeah, that's right, Ed. Why?
Have a look.
Thanks.
The MP's left about 20 minutes ago.
Swell. Your $2 went for nothing, Ben. Hoffman's wanted.
Huh?
Broke out of Army prison 10 o'clock this morning. Together with the Army authorities, local officers joined in the citywide search for George Hoffman. At 10 o'clock that night, a food market on Santa Fe and Rialto was robbed and the proprietor beaten. From our mug shots, the victim identified Hoffman as the hold-up man. Shortly after midnight, a drugstore on Crenshaw was held up. Hoffman was again tabbed as the suspect. The next 2 days, the search was intensified. No leads. 2 more days went by. Late Saturday morning, we got a hurry-up call from the detail on duty at the Union Station. Hoffman had been reported in the vicinity. Ben and I drove down to the depot to check with the officer in charge, Slats Henry. Spot him, Joe? No. Let's have a look back by the ticket counters, huh? Yeah, there he is over by the phone booth. Come on. Hi, Slats.
Hi. Looks pretty good.
What's the story?
One of the newsboys up the street gave us a tip. About an hour ago, a guy gave him $1 to come down here and buy a ticket for him. Ticket to Phoenix.
Yeah?
Kid came in, bought the ticket, went back up the street and gave it to the man.
Mm-hmm.
We showed the kid a bunch of mug shots. He picked out Hoffman's.
Yeah, he's not wearing his Army uniform, huh?
No, brown suit, dark blue overcoat, no hat. That's what the kid told us.
Any idea which train he was taking for Phoenix?
Not exactly. He asked when the first train for Phoenix was. The newsboy told him 3:35.
Mm-hmm. 10 minutes to 12 now. You got enough men to handle it, Slats?
Everything's covered. Only one thing lacking.
Yeah?
Hoffman.
While the stakeout continued on the Union Station, Ben and I, together with Gaffney and Henry from robbery, covered the bars, restaurants, and hotels in the immediate area for a sign of the suspect. 2:30 p.m. What do you think? We better head back down for the station, see what's doing, huh? Yeah, okay. I'd like to have a dime for every mile we've logged on this case. Yeah. Joe, have a look. Where? Across the street, dark blue overcoat. Same build as Hoffman. I'll bet on him. Come on. He spotted us. Yeah, that's Hoffman. Come on. Now, pick it up. Yeah. I lost him, Joe. Where'd he go? Turn down First Street. Come on, hurry. Yeah. Across the street, Ben. Yeah. Watch the traffic. Where'd he go? I see him. That antique store on the corner. He ran in there. Come on. Yeah. There he is. All right, Hoffman.
Out of the way, mister!
All right, hold it right there, Hoffman.
I'm coming out! Move!
What's it, Joe?
I said I'm coming out. You hear me?
You're going the hard way, George.
Come on, drop it, drop it!
All right, Hoffman. All right, on your feet. Come on, get up. All right, get your hands behind you.
Sure. What good's it gonna do you?
All right, mister, let's go.
What good's it gonna do? I already proved it. I can break jail any time. I proved it twice.
You're going right back in again. What's that prove?
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 8th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 89, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you.
To get year-round thanks for the gift you give this Christmas, give Fatimas to every long cigarette smoker on your list. Their first pack of extra mild Fatimas will have them convinced, like I am, that in Fatima the difference is quality. And Christmas Fatimas come in a distinctive royal blue slip-over jacket that makes a perfect gift just as is. Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima the difference is quality. Give Fatimas, the quality king-size cigarette, to every long cigarette smoker.
George R. Hoffman was tried and convicted on several counts of robbery and received a life sentence as a hardened criminal. After serving 10 months of his sentence, Hoffman attempted an escape and failed. A few weeks later, he took his own life in his prison cell by hanging.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week, in answer to your requests, Dragnet will repeat A Gun for Christmas, the actual case history broadcast last year during the Yuletide season. That's next Thursday, December 21st.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield, always wins first place. That milder, mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
We the People is next with more good times on NBC.
The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A small boy is reported missing from his home. His age, 9 years. Foul play is suspected. Your job, find him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. Difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, December 22nd. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. I was on the way into work, and it was 3:55 p.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
Hi, Joe.
Ben? Well, here's the file on the Webster case.
Have all the follow-ups been made?
Yeah. I get it. Homicide Friday.
This Levinson unit, 113J. Got something for you.
Yeah, Harry, what's doing?
Doherty and I are out here on Commerce Avenue, 4656, trying to track down a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, what's the story?
The kid's missing, suspicion of foul play.
How long's he been gone?
About 2 hours. Looks like a job for homicide.
How'd he figure?
The kid was last seen playing in the backyard of his home.
Yeah?
We checked over the yard.
Did you find anything?
Bloodstains, lots of them. They look new.
Ben and I left a message for Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. Then we went over to the crime lab, picked up Lieutenant Lee Jones, and drove out the Arroyo Seco freeway to Collis Avenue. It was an average neighborhood. Number 4656 was a one-story green stucco residence situated on the corner of Collis Avenue and Harrison Drive. Beyond the backyard was a tract of undeveloped land covered with scrub oak. Harry Levinson from Highland Park Juvenile was waiting for us in front of the house.
Let's back this way, fellas.
Coming, Lee?
Till I get my bag.
Who notified you that the boy was missing, Harry?
The mother said she went out to do some Christmas shopping about 11 this morning, left the boy home.
Mm-hmm.
She came back about 2 this afternoon. He was gone.
What's the name?
Johnstone. The kid's name is Stanley, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm. Was this gate open like this when you got here?
Yeah, I haven't touched a thing. I hear the stains over here, Lieutenant Jones, along the edge of the walk. See?
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, quite a few stains, huh?
Yeah. Looks like it might be blood. Try some benzodine on them. There we are. See what happened?
Where's the kid's mother now, Harry?
Yeah, in the house. Doherty's talking to her.
Did you talk to any of the neighbors?
People next door, the ones on this side. They couldn't tell us anything.
There it is, fellas.
Yeah, Lee.
These spots I covered with benzodine, they're turning blue. Bloodstains, all right. Can't say definitely whether it's human or animal blood.
Mm-hmm. Did you have to go back to the lab to run it through?
Yeah, biological precipitant test. Hand me one of those glass files from my bag, will you?
Yeah, sure. Okay, here you go.
Thanks. Scrape some flakes off for a test. There we are.
How soon can you tap the blood for us, Lee?
Precipitant test won't run more than 20 minutes. It'll take 3 or 4 hours to run a blood grouping, though. That's it. Anything else you want to check?
Levinson? Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Right here in my handkerchief. Empty shell. That marker over there by the rose bush? That's where I found it.
From a .22, huh?
Yeah. Might tie in, might not.
Mark it and dump it in this envelope, will you?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah.
Did you get out a missing broadcast on the boy here?
Doherty did about a half an hour ago. Here's a description here.
Thank you. Will Mother know about the bloodstains?
No, we didn't tell her. She's worried enough already.
She has no idea what might have happened to her boy, huh?
No more than we do. She checked all her friends and relatives. We're covering the neighborhood. No trace so far.
Not much to go on.
Bloodstains. Empty cartridge.
Yeah, it could mean 100 things.
Any ideas, Friday?
Just one, and I don't like it. .4:30 p.m. Thursday, December 22nd. The neighborhood search for 9-year-old Stanley Johnstone continued. Lee Jones went back to the crime lab to start the precipitant test and the blood grouping. Levinson and his partner Doherty from Highland Juvenile stood by. We called Chief of Detectives Thad Brown, and he ordered up a special detail to aid in the search for the missing boy. Ben and I questioned the boy's mother, Mrs. Ruth Johnstone, a woman in her early 40s. She seemed fairly calm under the circumstances.
Miss Johnson, is your boy Stanley in the habit of wandering off without telling you where he's going?
No, he's not in the habit of wandering off, but he has done it before.
Well, when was the last time, Miss Johnstone?
You don't have any children, do you, Sergeant Friday?
No, ma'am, I'm not married.
Well, there comes a time in every young boy's life when he feels it is time to leave home, go out on his own. Usually happens somewhere around 8 to 10.
I think I know what you mean. I have a boy.
Well, then you know how it is. My husband and I scolded Stanley one afternoon after school, and he was quite put out about it. Thought George and I were unfair. Packed a few of his things and left.
Well, how long was he gone?
Oh, no time at all, about 2 hours. I was worried about him, but my husband said to leave him alone. Said every boy had to go through that stage.
Well, then you think that he's run away from home again this time?
Yes, I think so. He's been gone about 4 hours now, and I have a funny feeling about it.
Did you and his father have some misunderstanding with the boy recently?
Well, that's just it. We haven't. I don't mind telling you now that we're talking about it. I am getting worried.
Well, is there any place around that he might like to visit, a hobby shop, playground, someplace he might be?
Yes, there's Jensen's model shop. Little Shannon Burroughs, but I've already called there and he hasn't been seen all day. I've called all his friends and they have no idea where he is either.
Well, we'd like a list of all of his friends and the places that he was known to frequent.
Yes, all right, I'll give them to you. Where do you suppose he is?
Where's your husband now, Miss Johnson?
At work. George works for the city. He's a fireman.
What house is he stationed at?
Engine Company 12. He's working the 8th platoon. He'll be home tomorrow morning. I haven't told him Stanley's gone.
Was there any chance the boy might be down at the firehouse with his father?
No, he seldom goes down there anymore. No, I don't think he's there. I'm awfully worried. May I call my husband?
Well, certainly. Go right ahead.
I know George will be worried. Engine Company 12, please. Stanley's been gone too long. Hello? May I please speak with George Johnstone? This is Mrs. Johnstone. Thank you. Oh, I hate to call George at his work.
Yes, ma'am. Does your husband own a gun?
Yes, he does.
What caliber, do you know?
It's a .45 automatic. He got enough. George? This is Ruth. George, is Stanley down there with you by any chance? Oh. No, I can't find him anywhere. He wasn't here when I came home from doing my shopping. There are 2 policemen here. No, I said there are 2 policemen here. No, dear, I'll call you if we don't find him soon. All right, dear. Yes, you too. Goodbye. I didn't think he'd be with George.
A .45, is that the only gun in the household?
Yes. Why are you asking about guns? Has anything happened that you're not telling me about?
No, ma'am, just routine checking. We'll have to take a look at that .45 if you don't mind.
Maybe I should tell you we do have another gun in the house, but it's all wrapped up. George bought it for Stanley's Christmas present.
What if we could see it, please?
Yes, well, will you have to unwrap it?
Yes, ma'am, I'm afraid so.
It's in the closet. I think I can reach it. He had to hide it. Let me see. Well, here's a paper it was wrapped in. Stanley must have found it. It's gone. You see, here's the gift card and the box the gun came in, the rifle.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if I could look at that box, ma'am. Thanks.
How about it, Joe?
.22 caliber. Thursday, December 22nd, 5:15 p.m. It was getting dark. The search for the missing boy continued. We checked the list of Stanley Johnstone's friends. None of them or their parents had any idea of his whereabouts. We talked with Levinson again. He'd been in touch with the detail combing the neighborhood. They'd found nothing. We went down to Collis Avenue and 10th Street, service station on the corner.
1 nickel, Joe?
No, I got one. Will you watch the fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
City Hall?
2667, please.
2667?
Crime Lab, Jones.
Hi, Lee. Joe Friday.
Yeah, Joe. Any sign of the Johnson kid?
No, not yet. How are you coming?
Finished the precipitant test. It's human blood.
Yeah?
Working on the blood group now. Do you know what type the Johnson boy has?
Well, I didn't want to upset his mother. Thought I'd wait till the last thing. We're in the neighborhood.
Check with the family physician. That way you won't disturb her.
Yeah, I figured on that. Just a minute, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Lost is pulled up.
Okay. Thad Brown's out here now. I'll check you later, Lee, huh?
All right, Joe.
Right, bye.
All right.
Oh, here's what, Jim.
Gentlemen, how's it going?
We just checked with Lee Jones.
Yeah, I know. It's human blood. What do you think?
We talked with the boy's mother, Mrs. Johnstone, found a gun missing.
Yeah?
Caliber's the same as the empty casing Levinson found. It's .22.
You said the gun was missing?
Yeah, the Johnstones were going to give it to the boys a Christmas present. They had it hidden, but it's gone.
Any idea who took it?
Well, they left the Christmas wrapping behind. I think it was the kid.
.22 rifle, huh? 9-year-old boy. When are they going to learn? First, it's carbide cannons on the 4th of July. The city issued ordinance after ordinance. A few thousand kids around the country had to lose their eyes, fingers, hands before their parents would give us their full cooperation to outlaw them.
I know what you mean.
Sure you do. You and every other cop in the country became the heavies trying to clamp down on them. It's always the same story. This time it's guns for Christmas.
Well, I know what you're thinking, but we're not sure yet.
Listen, Friday. There's a city ordinance against giving a gun to a kid. You know that.
Yeah, I know that.
There's a missing boy and a missing gun. There's blood on the ground and an empty shell. That's enough for me.
Yeah, we're going to stay with it. Something's got to break.
Yeah? I hope it's not the hearts of that kid's parents.
Hi, Chief.
Been looking for you, Friday.
What do you got, Harry?
Found the gun. New .22 rifle. I'd say it's been fired recently.
Where'd you find it, Levinson?
Back up there in that scrub oak behind the Johnstone house. Mrs. Johnstone identified it. Buckley took it down to crime lab.
Thanks, Harry. Miss Johnstone okay?
Pretty sick now. Doherty came up with something else.
What's that?
There's another one missing. An 8-year-old boy.
6:30 p.m. We talked with Officer Doherty about the other missing boy. He told us that his name was Stephen Moorheim, 8 years old. His family had just moved into the neighborhood. It seemed that no one besides the Moorheim family knew that the boys played together. Mrs. Moorheim told us that Stephen told her that he was going out to play and he'd be home by 6 o'clock for dinner. She told us that he was an unusually prompt boy and almost never overstayed his playtime. We got a description of the Moorheim boy and put out a missing broadcast. We called the Johnstones' family doctor. He told us that Stanley's blood was type O. At 7 p.m., we talked again with Mrs. John Moorheim.
Are you sure Mrs. Johnstone doesn't know where the boys are?
She has no idea, Mrs. Moorheim.
Oh, this is terrible. Just awful. I feel there's more to this thing, something you're not telling me.
Well, there's no use to upset you until we know a few things for sure.
And you're holding back something.
Well, now, please try not to worry, Miss Moorheim. There are certain things that we're going to have to ask you, routine questions in any kind of investigation.
Is there anything else you want to know?
Yes, ma'am. What is your boy's blood type?
It's a funny question. Do you think anything's happened to him? Have you found him and you're not telling me?
No, ma'am, we haven't found him, and we don't think anything's happened to him.
His blood type?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think I have it written down in Stevie's baby book. Yes, here it is. It's type O.
Thank you. I wonder if I might use your phone?
Yes, of course, it's in the hall.
I'll be right back, then.
Okay.
City Hall.
2667, please.
2667?
Crime lab, thank you.
Hello, Ray. This is Joe Friday. Is Lee there?
Just a minute, Joe.
Take two, Lee.
Jones speaking.
Checking back, Lee.
Did you get the blood types on the two missing boys?
Yeah, both type O.
So were the stains, Joe. Type O.
You are listening to Dragnet for the solution to an actual case from official police files. Now, here's a real solution to many of your Christmas shopping problems.
If your friends smoke long cigarettes, give the best of long cigarettes. Give king-size Fatima.
You see, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give smokers a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality. Even to the appearance of the distinctive royal blue Fatima gift carton. Christmas wrapped and carefully sealed to ensure Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
So this Christmas, give your friends the best. Give Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
8 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. Still no sign of either of the missing boys. Chief of Detectives Thad Brown went back to headquarters to direct the search from there. He dispatched another detail of 50 men to aid in the hunt for the missing youngsters. 8:30 p.m. It was getting colder. The citrus growers were warned to expect a freeze. We went up the block to see Mrs. Johnstone. Her husband had quit work early and returned home. We talked with him. He could tell us nothing more than we already knew. We still had not informed either of the families about the bloodstains in the empty cartridge casing, which had been discovered in the backyard of the Johnstone home. It was more than possible that they had a right to know about our findings, but Ben and I felt there was no cause to add to the distress of the two families at this time. If the two missing boys were found alive and well, then the bloodstains in the cartridge would be of no concern to the relieved parents. At 8:40 p.m., Ben and I left the Johnstone house and went to the home of Mr. and Mrs. John Moorheim.
Miss Moorheim, you said your husband worked at a market.
Yes, he telephoned about 15 minutes ago. Said he's closing up right away. He'll be here any minute. Do wish Stevie would call. Come home. It's so cold out tonight. All he had on was a thin cotton jacket.
We'll try not to worry. We're doing everything we can. He'll be all right.
Stevie's father's such a sensitive man. He and the boy are so close. I know he's terribly upset.
Now, you're sure there's no place that you might have forgotten? Someplace where the boy might be?
No place. No. If anything's happened to the boy, it'll just kill John.
No.
You sit still. I'll get him, Miss Moore.
Joe?
Yeah, Harry.
The Johnstone kid, he's been found.
He's home, Sergeant. He's come home. Thank God he's all right.
Where's he been? Did he tell you?
No, he didn't. His clothes are all dirty and he's acting strange. I've never seen him like this.
How do you mean, Miss Johnston?
Well, he just came to the front door and said, "Hello, Mom." He sat down in a chair and stared at the floor. Won't talk to his father or me.
You mind if I talk to him?
No, go ahead. I asked him about the little Moorheim boy, but he wouldn't tell me a thing.
Where is he now?
Right over there in the living room.
Looks all right.
Yes. Son, this is a police officer. He wants to talk to you. Don't be afraid, dear. He only wants to ask you some questions. Son. You see, Sergeant?
Stanley, look at me, son. Come on, youngster. Get your head up there. That's better. You had your mother pretty worried. You know that. You want to tell us where you've been?
We should try to get him to eat a little something.
You hear that, son? Want something to eat? Stanley, there's another little boy up the street who hasn't come home. You know where he is? His father and mother are worried about him, too. Just like your folks were. We're going to ask you to help us find him.
I killed him. I killed Steve with the .22. We were only playing, but I killed him.
How do you know you killed him? Maybe he's only hurt now, isn't that it?
No, he's dead. I know he's dead. The gun went off. I forgot we put bullets in there.
Where is he, Stanley?
I hit him. I was scared. I didn't want anybody to find him.
Where did you hide him, son?
In a cave up on the hill. I didn't mean it. He was my pal.
Do you want to show us where, Stanley?
Yes, I'll show you. Please, don't send me to jail.
.15 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. 9-year-old Stanley Johnstone led the way up the hill behind the backyard of his home. He showed us the wagon he moved the body in. His father came along with us. About 50 feet from the crest of the hill, the boy pointed to a thicket of scrub oak. There we found a small cave holding the body of Stephen Moorheim. There was a single bullet wound in his chest just below his heart. He was dead. We covered the body.
Stanley, how did it happen?
I knew my folks were going to give me the gun for Christmas. I knew where it was, and I got it. There was a box of bullets with it.
Were you pointing the gun at Stevenson?
No, sir. No, sir, I wasn't. It was Steve's turn to play with it. I was chasing him. He tripped over that stump there, and he fell. Gun hit him in the stomach, and it went off.
Well, why do you think you killed him if you're telling us the truth?
I'm telling the truth. Honest, that's the truth.
Well, I believe you, son, but why do you think you killed him?
It was my gun. Stevie'd still be alive if I didn't go and get it. Should have waited till Christmas. It's all my fault.
Well, where have you been all this time?
In the cave with Steve.
Well, what were you doing in there, son?
I was praying. I was praying for God to make him alive again.
After a thorough investigation, Ben and I were convinced that the shooting of Stephen Moorheim was accidental. Lieutenant Lee Jones' findings substantiated the Johnstone boy's story even to the smallest detail. We put in a call to the coroner's office and acquainted him with the facts. He designated a local mortuary to handle the body pending autopsy and granted us permission to remove the body to the Moorheim home. Mrs. Moorheim collapsed. The family doctor was called. Ben and I sat in the living room to wait for John Moorheim, the dead boy's father.
Edith?
Edith?
Mr. Moorheim?
Yeah, you the police?
Yes.
Well, where's Edith? Where's my wife? Has my boy come home? Have you found him?
Yes, sir.
Well, where is he? Steve? Stevie? Where's Steve? He's hurt, isn't he?
Yes, sir, he is.
Well, where is he? I want to see him.
He's hurt bad, Mr. Moorheim.
Where is he? I want to see him. How bad?
Pretty bad.
He's dead. All right if I go in.
Yes, sir, if you want to.
Will you go with me?
Sure. Don't make it any harder on yourself, Mr. Moorheim.
I want to see my boy.
Mr. Moorheim.
Listen to me, son. We got you a lot of nice things for Christmas. Everything you wanted. I got you the 3 new cars for the train. That one with a searchlight on it really works, son. I got you that new switch you wanted. A lot more track. Oh, now you can have a big layout. And you know that new baseball mitt we saw? I got it for you. The cowboy outfit you want. I got it.
Mr. Moorheim. Come on, you.
What happened?
It was an accident. He was playing with a Johnstone boy up the street. Playing with a gun. It went off.
What was the other boy's name?
Stanley Johnstone. It was an accident. Mr. Moorheim, where are you going?
I want to see that boy.
We had no idea what the dead boy's father had in mind. We didn't feel that we should try to restrain him. We went along with him up the street to the Johnstone home.
I'm Stevie's father. Where's your boy?
I'm sorry. We bought the rifle. We were going to tell him not to use it unless his father was with him until he learned how to treat firearms.
Where's your boy?
Right here. Won't you come in?
It's all right, Miss Johnstone.
You're the boy that was with Stevie?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Stanley.
I know it wasn't your fault, Stanley. Wonder if you'd do something for me.
Yes, sir.
I've got a lot of nice presents for Stevie. I know he'd want you to have them. I want to give them to you Christmas Eve.
Mom?
I think that'd be a fine idea, son.
Come on, Ben. Well, what's it all prove, Joe? You don't give a kid a gun for Christmas.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 24th, 1948, a coroner's inquest was held in the county morgue, city and county of Los Angeles, state of California. In a moment, the results of that inquest.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. To get year-round thanks for the gift you give this Christmas, give cartons of Fatimas to every long cigarette smoker on your list. Christmas Fatimas in the special royal blue slip-over jacket make a perfect gift just as is. And to my friends who sell Fatimas, the retail dealers and the wholesale distributors all over America, to each one of you, a special season's greeting. And to everyone, a Merry Christmas.
At the coroner's inquest, it was officially recorded that Stephen Moreheim's death was the result of an accident. Stanley Johnstone was absolved of any legal responsibility for his friend's death. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield, Chesterfield, always wins first place. That milder, mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
We the People is next with more Good Times on NBC.